FM Talk, always live on the free Odyssey app.
He says he's ashamed. Lisa Brady, Fox News. After visiting the site of the Trump assassination attempt, acting Secret Service Director Ronald Rowe says he can't defend why the roof the shooter fired from wasn't better secured, calling it a failure on multiple levels.
I have taken and will continue to take immediate steps to ensure we do not repeat those failures.
But Rowe also says he will not rush to judgment on who is held accountable as the investigation continues. And he denies reports that repeated requests from the Trump security team for more resources were rejected over the past 2 years.
It goes up to a logistics office between our...
Okay, so there's a bureaucracy. Is there a decision maker?
It's not a bureaucracy, Senator.
Give me the person that's the decision maker. Is there one?
Senator, it's a conversation. It's not just an absolute yay or nay.
Texas Republican Senator Ted Cruz accusing Secret Service leadership of making political decisions, which Rowe also denies. The former president heads to Chicago tomorrow, while Vice President Kamala Harris has a rally tonight in Atlanta.
She's going to try to re-energize Democrats in this state because polling showed that they were not doing too well this cycle. But now, obviously, with the Democratic ticket shakeup, everything could change. This is a state that Democrats narrowly won by fewer than 12,000 votes 4 years ago. And the vice president here obviously is going to try to make the state in contention. And we know Republicans say they still feel bullish about their chances in this state.
Fox's Mark Meredith. Protests in Venezuela as President Maduro claims he won re-election over the weekend, while opposition candidate Edmundo Gonzalez says his campaign has proof he won. The U.S. calling for more transparency on the vote counting. Copa Airlines just announcing that Venezuela is temporarily suspending all commercial flights between Panama and Venezuela beginning tomorrow evening. America is listening to Fox News.
You've got a Pepto predicament, Beach Bum.
Hey, we're heading down to the beach. You coming?
Yeah, Dad. You coming?
I had a little too much to eat at the resort buffet. I need a minute.
Oh, you overdid it. And now your beach vacation is giving you belly waves. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief so you can get back to making memories.
Let's go, Dad!
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
You can host the best backyard barbecue when you find a professional on Angie to make your backyard the best around. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
A mix of clouds and sunshine going through our Monday afternoon. Hot and very humid. Couple of scattered thunderstorms still lingering. 92 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy, warm and humid, 78. Tuesday, sunny, hot and humid, 97. 79 for the low on Tuesday night. The city may only get down to 82. Wednesday, sunny, hot and humid, near 100. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Conservative Dave Wassinger is the only pro-Trump Republican running for lieutenant governor. Wassinger is the only candidate endorsed by Missouri Right to Life. And Wassinger is the only candidate for lieutenant governor with the guts to work with Trump to deport illegals. Wassinger's policy on illegal immigration is simple. Come here legally, or it's adios, amigos. Listen to conservative pro-Trump Republican Dave Wassinger.
President Trump is right. Illegals break our laws, steal our jobs, and overwhelm our hospitals. It has to stop. As my lieutenant governor, I'll fight to keep Missouri safe and deport illegals. You come here legally, or it's adios, amigos.
Dave Wassinger, tough on illegal immigration. Dave Wassinger, pro-Trump. Dave Wassinger, pro-life. Vote Dave Wassinger for lieutenant governor. Paid for by Wassinger for Missouri. Henry Charles Poles, treasurer.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
It's time to get your body in shape for the warm weather, and Victory Men's Health can help. Mark Cox here for my friends at Victory. They've got semaglutide for ladies and men, and all you need to do is go to victorymenshealth.com to find out more. They've got 4 convenient locations now: Sunset Hills, Wing Haven, Town and Country, and O'Fallon, Illinois. A simple blood test, and you can be on the path to losing up to 15% of your body weight. Tell them Mark Cox sent you. Go to victorymenshealth.com.
St. Charles County is a great county and community.
Joe Brazel supports smart growth.
In recent years, there has been an explosion of growth, an increase of apartment buildings by 180%. Explosive growth is not good for our citizens. It causes major strains on our resources. Having a rural area in our county and preserving our heritage is very important by not wiping out every tree and contaminating our water.
Joe Brazel, a true patriot working for you.
I'm Joe Brazel, running for St. Charles County Council, District 2, vote August 6th.
Paid for by Citizens for Joe Brazel. Mike Summers, Treasurer.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Back to your question, Senator. These were discussions that were had between the Pittsburgh field office, the local counterparts, and everyone supporting that visit that day. And that's why when I laid in that position, I could not, and I will not, and I cannot understand why there was not better coverage, or at least somebody looking at that roof line when that's where they were posted.
That is the acting Secret Service Director, Ronald Rowe, and they've been having this hearing all morning. I've been listening to the majority of it. It's pretty stunning how we got to the place. That's what a lot of us have been thinking. How did this happen? How did somebody get such a clear shot of the former president of the United States and a current candidate, nominee, to become the next president of the United States? How did someone get a clear shot? You've got 2 choices. Either you believe that it was a massive breakdown of the systems that are in place to protect those individuals that are garnered this type of elite level of protection, massive system failure. Or there's the other thing, something a little bit more conspiratorial, something that is more nefarious. And I have appreciated the way that we have heard senators on both sides of the aisle today questioning the member from the Secret Service who is there and also the FBI representation. I have appreciated how they've said, you know, the more information you give us, the less information the public chooses to fill in the blanks. I can't remember which senator it was. It'll come to me off the top of my head. It might have been Rick Scott. I'm not 100% sure. Was saying, you know, I went to church this weekend. I had 3 different people asking me if there was a second shooter. There's a lot of information that is missing, and the American people don't trust the information that they're being given, both from an open and honest and transparent government and a media that holds them accountable. This is the system breakdown that you have, which means that we have multiple system failures here, of course. Our YouTube poll for you today is, how do you see the attempt on Trump's life? Is it a massive system failure? Or is it something more conspiratorial? And that's a broad second option. Because I think that there are different ways that you can look at this. Of course, you could think it was completely plotted out by Joe Biden, and I do not believe that to be the case in any way, shape, or form. But there are people who do. Or you can believe that maybe there was something that was stitched together by inaction. How many times, I mean, Brad, I can think of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as the one that comes to mind. And correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't she say if President Trump is a convicted felon, he should lose his Secret Service protection?
Yeah, yes, but one of them actually tried to introduce, and I think it was Bowman, tried to introduce legislation to make that happen. Oh, man, who was it? It was one of the squad.
Regardless, why do you think that they wanted that to happen? I mean, you're either ignorant or you know exactly what you're doing. Ignorance is, in my opinion, the absence of information. I have a little more patience for ignorance than I have for stupidity. But when you hear people, this is where it starts to get deep under my skin. When you hear people like that suggest, you know, we got the convicted felon. They'd put it in the front of the Hollywood letters in California if they could figure out a way to make that happen. Once you get that convicted felon manufactured label for Donald Trump, which likely will be completely gone into thin air upon appeal. Once they got that convicted felon label, it gave them a ticket to get into a whole bunch of other arenas where they could play with that word. They were playing with the word. The idea of being a convicted felon should mean something in this country, and the people who are the most aggressively in office on the left want to free convicted felons, want to make sure that they are seen as victims in this country, unless, of course, you're Donald Trump. If your name is Trump, that just changes the whole game. They get the convicted felon label, and now they get to use it as entry to new conversations, like convicted felon shouldn't have taxpayer-funded Secret Service. You have to ask yourself, well, why would one need Secret Service protection? You don't need Secret Service protection just because you are a fancy person who got the most votes somewhere. You need Secret Service protection because people want you dead. That's why we have elite taxpayer-funded protection. It's to protect the life of the protectee. You do not have to be Mensa to understand that concept. I don't think that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez is stupid. I don't think that Bowman is stupid. I don't think that the people in the squad are stupid. And I think that it is short-sighted to assume that any of them are stupid. They're actually pretty smart. They just have incredibly different intentions. When we listen to people suggest that Donald Trump should now lose Secret Service protection, and this was, of course, before the shooting, when we hear them say that, you do have to pause and ask yourself, do they understand why that individual has Secret Service protection to begin with? To protect their life. Because if they do understand that, and they're saying that they shouldn't have it, they are choosing to no longer protect the life of the person that they have in their sights. That's really no different than saying they don't care if that person is dead. This is coming from the side of the aisle that says that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. I mean, good grief. Think about that for just a second, that the people on the left who are saying that Donald Trump doesn't deserve Secret Service protection anymore because he's a convicted felon through a manufactured trial, a sham trial. You know it. I know it. The people on the left know it. That's why they're so gleeful about it. At least right now, they got it in before the election. That was the only plan. Whatever happens after that doesn't matter. They got it in before the election. They got the convicted felon title that they wanted. When they're saying that they want their political opponent unprotected, I'm not going to go so far as to say they want him dead, because I think that that's a stretch. I think that they never let a good crisis go to waste in that instance. But when You look at the far, far left, the people on the most progressive side of the Democrat Party. You see that they want to remove the defense of that protectee's life. And then in the same breath, they say that Donald Trump is a threat to democracy. That is dangerous hypocrisy. It's scary hypocrisy. And I don't believe that that attitude is one of ignorance. When Amy Klobuchar, Senator Klobuchar, was given the opportunity to ask the acting Secret Service director to say, hey, tell us, just sum it up for us, because there are people out there right now who have a lot of thoughts. They're filling in a lot of gaps. Tell us what went wrong.
No, thank you, Senator. I thought long and hard about this. I think this was a failure of imagination, a failure to imagine that we actually do live in a very dangerous world where people do actually want to do harm to our protectees. I think it was a failure to challenge our own assumptions, the assumptions that we know our partners are going to do everything they can, and they do this every day. But we didn't challenge our own assumptions of, we assume that someone's going to cover that. We assume that there's going to be uniform presence. We didn't challenge that internally during that advance. So moving forward, I've directed that when we're talking to people and we're making requests, we are very specific about what we want. We are providing explicit instructions on exactly what our expectation is and what we need them to do and what we want them to do. That's the only way that we're going to be able to move forward beyond this. And let me just tell you that our state and local law enforcement partners are the best. So this belief that somehow they are less than federal law enforcement or they're less than the Secret Service, they're out there patrolling communities every day. They're the ones out there going into hazardous conditions every day. They know their communities. They have the ability to enforce state and local laws. Our advanced agents do not.
Right.
We need them, and we need them to be partners with us. And I think we need to be very clear to them, and that may have contributed to this situation.
Yeah.
It's obvious that the acting director understands there was a massive breakdown with the system, which is what's the phrase you always say, Brad? Never let
never attribute to malice that which can be explained by incompetence.
It's fancier than the poll, but it's the same. It's the same thought. You got to tell us what you think. I'm interested in your comments. I even ran this poll. I've never done this before. I even ran this poll by our program director and was like, we're in weird territory. Brad, when we're casually talking on the air, like I'm even wording my things on social media a specific way so that I don't get flagged or squashed down or whatever. This is real.
Yes.
We are here.
Yes. Yeah, and I think I talked about this a little bit before you got back, but the thing about it is we are here and this is real because of things that were done leading up to this moment. The way things were handled during COVID, the way things that were, every time there was something, we don't have a media that we can trust. And then at B, it seems like every major government organization just isn't really interested in telling us what's going on. So what they end up doing is they either lie about it or they don't tell us anything. And then that allows conspiracy theories to start flourishing and building up. And then you've got this massive thing where nobody knows what's what as far as what's up, what's down, what's real, what's not. And my question inevitably becomes, is that an accident or is that by design? Do they want us confused?
Senator Rick Scott in his questioning.
Do you guys realize the value of going in front of the press and answering all their questions? You realize that if you don't do it that way, everything gets filtered. You get to put out all the information, and you should be You should be providing, you should be every day say, this is what we know now. This is, like Senator Johnson put together a timeline. You should have put together a timeline. You should immediately put out, this is what we know right now, and this is what we don't know. Like you've said, you don't know how the gun got up there. Right? You've said it. But why have, that should have been out all along. Say, we're looking at it, it doesn't make any sense, we've done this, we've done this, we've done this. If you do, I just don't get it, why what you're doing. You're ruining, I've said this about the FBI. The people that work at the FBI, people who work at Secret Service, they're great people. You're a black hole. You lose the support of the American public because people don't believe you're being direct with them.
I appreciate Senator Scott's remarks there because he's clearly saying, tell us so that we don't have to fill in the gaps, or so that as senators you don't have to go back to your constituents and listen to wild conspiracy theories that we don't actually have information that refutes them. What do the American people deserve to know? They deserve to know every single detail that by making it public doesn't put somebody else in danger. And I'm listening to this hearing today going, gosh, should we be talking about this out loud like this? Do we want to make it so that we know that at the next rally, here's all the procedures that were in place there. Here's where all the breakdowns were. They sounds like they're pretty committed to it. But by the next rally, which he's going back to Butler, Pennsylvania, to finish the rally, you going to be doubling your efforts? I assume they will. Your senator, Missouri, Josh Hawley, went to town, as he is apt to do. I was listening to him. I was walking around with my phone listening to the hearing like a nerd. And, I'm like, what a prosecutor. He sounds like a dad who found a baggie of something in his kid's room, and he is on it. He is ready to go. When we come back, we're going to listen to that exchange between Josh Hawley and the people at this hearing. We're going to watch it on our Annie Fry YouTube channel. So if you want to join us and watch along with us, you'll be able to hear everything on the radio perfectly. If you want to watch it, make sure you come to the YouTube channel and vote. How do you see the attempt on Trump's life? Is it a massive system failure or something more conspiratorial? At 1:05, Jim Carafano is going to join us. I got a lot to talk to him about. I'm going to ask him to comment on what he's heard today in the hearing, if he's been paying attention to the hearing, and the breakdown that allowed a bullet to strike the body of Donald Trump, which means Donald Trump was shot. And if you want to stay elsewhere, get out of here. Don't talk to me. Leave. You're dumb. That's pretty. That sums it up, right? I'm going to talk to him about what's going on in northern Israel, and I want to talk to him about what's going on in Venezuela. I should ask him if he could stay till 3. Jim Carafano, it's going to be a great conversation at 1:05. Let's hear from Josh Hawley when we come back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
The Diamond Shop, you find them online at thediamondshop.net, but they are also located for you to walk into their beautiful store in Clayton, Missouri. Easy. You can park on the street. You can park behind the store. Wherever you need to start your shopping experience, be it in the store, online, they're ready to see you. Make sure that when you walk in, you tell them, so I heard about you on the Annie Fry Show, and that'll be a great way to start the conversation. They have beautiful things inside your budget. Your budget could be less than $100. It could be, sky's the limit for these types of things. You can have it custom made by Tom. He has done custom jewelry for me, and I'm so grateful for it. It's so special to me that my husband was able to go in with this vision of a necklace that I would wear, it was like off of a department store rack. I just like the necklace, would wear it all the time. He went in and had one custom made for me that is much, much nicer than the one that I was repeat buying elsewhere. I'm so grateful for it. He went in, told Tom, this is what I'm thinking, and Tom walked him through the process and was able to deliver something that I will cherish forever. If you're looking for something special, remember 6 months, same as cash financing. That takes you right into Christmas. Go visit the Diamond Shop in Clayton or find them online at thediamondshop.net.
A weak White House, an invasion of illegals, and the woke mob attacking our values. That's what Phil Cristofanelli is fighting for Missouri's future. He supported sending the National Guard to secure the southern border. He defunded sanctuary cities. And Phil Cristofanelli backs the blue to keep our neighborhoods safe from gangs, fentanyl, and human traffickers. He's been named one of Missouri's most conservative legislators year after year. Cristofanelli stands up to the radical left and weak-kneed Republicans. Pro-life, he helped pass one of the nation's strongest anti-abortion laws and defunded Planned Parenthood. Pro-Second Amendment, he stood up for our gun owners and constitutional rights. And Cristofanelli is keeping men out of girls' sports and locker rooms. Phil Cristofanelli, an unwavering conservative for State Senate.
Paid for by friends of Phil Cristofanelli, Dan Raker's treasurer.
Do you have 3 ex-wives and your current trophy wife wants a life insurance policy 3 times the size of the policies you had to purchase for your previous mistakes? If so, you need to call Big Lou at Term Provider, 800-700-6898. Big Lou is intimately familiar with your problems, and if you're 50 or 60 years old and in reasonably good health, a $1 million policy should only cost about $100 to $200 per month. Big Lou may have a solution for your previous policies as well. You may even save enough money to lighten the load on your new $1 million policy. Remember, call Big Lou. He's like you, except he's only on number 2. Call Term Provider at 800-700-6898. That's 800-700-6898. For $1 million in term life insurance that you can live with. Call Big Lou at 800-700-6898. 800-700-6898.
I'm Robert Cornejo. It is an honor to serve as judge for St. Charles County, the community that I am proud to be raising my family in. In my courtroom, I follow the Constitution and the rule of law. I'm not here to legislate from the bench. I'm here to ensure justice is carried out efficiently and fairly. My number one priority as a judge is to make sure this is a safe community for families like mine.
Robert Cornejo served in the Missouri House, where he defended the sanctity of life, prevented illegal immigrants from receiving taxpayer-subsidized tuition, fought against big government, and strengthened our Second Amendment rights. Judge Robert Cornejo is endorsed by the St. Louis County Police Association and Eastern Missouri Coalition of Police for his work to keep St. Charles County safe. Judge Cornejo also has the support of local firefighters.
When you cast your vote, I hope that you will allow me, Judge Robert Cornejo, to be the next circuit judge for St. Charles County.
Paid for by friends of Robert Cornejo. Allison Onder, Treasurer.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Get in your comfort zone with a free home safety package on a new HVAC system. That's an almost $800 value for free. For details and a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Missouri, it's time to vote. The Missouri primary is August 6th, and early voting is happening now. Make your voice heard. Cast your vote in the Missouri primary. Democracy 2024. It's happening now on 97.1 FM Talk. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
I can see why you think you belong to me. I never tried to make you think or let you see one thing for yourself. But now you're off with someone else and I'm alone. You see, I thought that I might keep you for my own. Amy.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Hope you're having a wonderful Tuesday afternoon here in St. Louis. We've been watching the testimony the hearing, I should say, well, both. The Senate is questioning the acting Secret Service Director, as well as the FBI, and very interesting things have come out of this. There's a lot of answers that were not provided. There's like an admission like, wow, this went bad. And I think everyone's going, yeah, that went real bad. Somebody died. And I think it's important that we remember that it's not just about the fact that Donald Trump's life was not taken, but that somebody else's was. There is somebody at this rally who was there exercising his right to support a political candidate, and he lost his life because of this breakdown. Somehow or another, Donald Trump was able to escape what looked like a certain death by a miracle of the hand of God, but another person didn't. We're asking you today, how do you see the attempt on Trump's life, a massive system failure or something more conspiratorial? Russell said, I believe it was a total system failure. Identified a suspicious person 90 minutes before the shots. Also took photos of the person 30 to 40 minutes prior. Unimaginable he wasn't stopped prior. Vicky said, huge system failure. I just wonder how many others were not as protected as they thought that they were. George said, incompetence can only go so far. The breakdowns that happened lends itself to something more. So I've been watching the results of this poll come in, and honestly, they've gone back and forth between the two options, system failure, something more conspiratorial, and the results are coming in, and you guys are pretty divided by this, which is why we wanted to ask the question, because I wasn't really 100% sure where at least our audience is. Of course, this isn't a super scientific poll. It's just it's a polling of people who want to sign on to YouTube and listen to the Annie Fry Show, but I'm curious where you are on this issue. And it seems as though, at least for now, this audience of this show on 97.1 FM Talk are pretty divided. Here in Missouri, we are blessed to have Senator Josh Hawley, and he always brings the heat as a prosecutor.
And as opposed to zeroing in on one,
what more do you need to investigate to know
exactly what the decision-making process was?
What more do you need to investigate to know that there were critical enough failures that some individuals ought to be held accountable? I mean, what more do you need to know?
What I need to know is exactly what happened, and I need my investigators to do their job. And I cannot.
A lot of people didn't do their
jobs. I cannot put my thumb on the scale. Otherwise,
what do you mean put your thumb on the
scale? You're asking me, Senator, to completely make a rush to judgment about somebody failing. I acknowledge this was a failure of the
Is it not prima facie that somebody has failed? A former president was shot.
Sir, this could have been our Texas school book depository. I have lost sleep over that for the last 17 days,
then
just like you have.
Somebody to
and I will
hold
tell
them
you,
accountable.
Senator, I will tell you, Senator, that I will not rush to judgment, that people will be held accountable, and I will do so with integrity and not rush to judgment and put people unfairly persecuted.
Unfairly persecuted?
Unfairly,
We've got people
sir.
who are
we
dead.
have to be able to have a proper investigation into this, Senator.
You said earlier that you've got to make sure that your protocols are followed, and unless there's a protocol violation, people wouldn't be disciplined. I would just say to you, I don't really care that much about your protocols. I think if your protocols don't provide for the fact that when a former president is shot, when an American is killed, when other rally-goers, innocent people who just showed up on the day, when they are shot at and critically wounded, if that isn't a protocol violation prima facie, you should revise your protocols.
Senator, I think this is where you and I agree. This was a failure, and we will get to the bottom of it.
Well, I hope you're going to do something about it. Let me ask you something else. The Real Clear Politics reports this morning that you were directly involved in denying additional security resources and personnel, including counter snipers, not just to this event, but over the last 2 years, that President Trump's team repeatedly asked for these additional resources, and you personally were involved in denying them. Is that true?
Senator, as I stated earlier, that is not true.
So you never denied any resources to former President Trump's team?
No, not me. No, sir.
And you weren't involved in any of that? You were never involved in the decision-making?
No, sir, I was not.
Let me ask you just one or two other things here quickly. Well, whistleblowers tell me that, in fact, law enforcement were stationed to be on that roof and that law enforcement abandoned their post because it was too hot. Is that accurate?
Senator, I have heard that as well. Again, they posted up inside. And I think moving forward, as I said earlier, we're going to ensure that state and local counter snipers are on roofs.
But do you know if someone was supposed to be on the roof? Do you know if someone was in fact? That's what the whistleblowers tells me. That may or may not be accurate. Do you know that to be the fact? Was somebody posted to the roof, local law enforcement or whomever?
I do not know that to be a fact.
Well, can I ask you why you don't know that?
Again, Senator, we are looking at this, and they should have been on that roof. And the fact that they were in the building is something that I'm still trying to understand.
I just want to express my frustration, Director, that 17 days or whatever it's been, that whistleblowers are telling us more than you are, and you don't know, you haven't ascertained if there was supposed to be law enforcement on the roof. That seems like a pretty basic fact. I'm also told that local law enforcement suppliers offered the Secret Service drones, and you declined them. Is that true?
So, Senator, one, I've been very transparent and forthcoming.
Your agency has not been transparent and forthcoming, so please, let's not go there.
I have been forthcoming, sir.
That remains to be seen. You've been on the job a few days, So far, you fired nobody. Now, the drones.
Thank you,
Were
sir.
you offered drones?
Senator Hawley. So there was an offer to fly a drone on that day.
And why did you deny it?
I think the ability of local law enforcement to provide an asset, we probably should have taken them up on it if it was offered.
So you've been listening to Senator Josh Hawley questioning the acting Secret Service Director, Ronald Rowe. And Hawley brought heat the way I did not hear other senators before him aggressively question. Mike Lee, he kind of got worked up. John Kennedy did his John Kennedy thing. There was one point where John Kennedy, I think he asked if Trump was shot by space lasers. I'm not joking. Or murder hornets. Maybe we could get the clip. But it was true John Kennedy fashion. I almost am hesitant to do that because I feel like this is more serious than that.
Yeah.
And when I was listening to some of the other senators questioning the Secret Service Director, he's the acting Secret Service Director, I guess the last one, she gone. When I'm listening to them, they were always prefacing like with their utmost respect for authority, for law enforcement. It's very sad to me that there's all of this pomp and circumstance that needs to be said to be like, I'm going to question what happened when Donald Trump was almost assassinated. One of his supporters was shot dead at a rally. But I need to make sure that politically everybody knows that I do back the blue. Why isn't it default that we back the blue? Well, we know the answer to that.
So I listened to this, and just a comment on the tone. This sounds like whenever I am upset with Charter or Spectrum, and they don't have good answers for what I'm saying.
To Mark Reardon?
No, but I do know that he's been having some trouble with that. But this Secret Service Director, the acting Secret Service Director, is in the position of trying to defend the indefensible, and Hawley's absolutely right on that. But Hawley's also absolutely right in the sense that you have to make consequences, even if that's looking horrible in front of the American people. If that's the only consequence, there has to be a consequence for it. The one line that really stuck out to me whenever he clapped back at Hawley, and he's like, "This could have been our school book depository." And it's like, yes, that's why he's angry. This is a failure. It is a failure, to our poll questions, or it's conspiratorially something else. Either one of those is horrible.
Aren't we begging for it to be a system failure?
We need it to be a system failure.
Because you could fix that.
Yes.
The other thing has no end to the digging.
The fix to the other thing is way bigger and way more involved and way more horrible than anybody ever wants to even think about or imagine.
When you watch, here's my experience of this. I'm thinking to watching Blue Bloods. Have you ever?
I've seen it.
Blue Bloods. Yes, I understand. It's a show on, I think, CBS. I get it. It's not real life, but they do work very hard to mimic the existence of the NYPD and the understanding of the politics that go on within the department and the politics in the outside world that infiltrate, and the different levels of seniority and how it all works. But what I've learned from that, and Tom Selleck's position as the commissioner of the NYPD, is that you do have to, in that position, and I assume that that's what's happening here with the acting Secret Service Director, you don't want to lose the confidence of your rank and file.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that Secret Service has rank and file.
Yeah.
They're just
there's
elite
less
rank
of them,
and file.
and they're
Yes, they're BA. So what I hear from him politically, internally, is wanting to make sure that when he goes back to the office, that they don't look at him and say, "You sold us out." But this is the part where leadership, if you're in this position, you've got to answer to the people.
Mm-hmm.
You have to answer to the American people. I understand that you don't want to lose the confidence of those people who are in your department, people who you likely know personally, and I would assume in the Secret Service, just like in the military, that the bonds you form with your coworkers there are unlike bonds you form when you're like in accounting for a major business.
Yeah. And to that point, you don't want to lose their confidence. I really think the only way that you lose their confidence, though, is if you throw them under the bus for something that wasn't their fault.
if there is something that needs to be called out, if there's someone who messed up, you're not going to get this covered up.
Mm-mm.
It's not going to stay covered up. And there has to be accountability. And what I'm pulling from, just from an observational standpoint, I'm Jane Citizen sitting here watching this going, how do I know this isn't going to happen again? How do I know that Donald Trump, when he goes back to Butler, how do I know that roof's going to be covered? I mean, it sure as heck better be, obviously. But how do I know? How do I trust you? And the only way that I can trust is that if you come out and prove that it was a system failure with all of these things put in place. And the complicated thing here is that I shouldn't really know what the systems are that are put in place, because if I know them, then the next crooks knows them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more complicated than that, which means that the mea culpa of this particular representative, the acting director of the Secret Service, what he has to go out there and do is assure the American people that the protection of the target is above any other purpose that can be served, including protecting those who I'm sure he loves and respects who made a mistake. That was something else that a senator said. It was Rand Paul. Rand Paul made a good comment. He said, just because you make a mistake doesn't mean you're a bad person.
Right.
But we still need to have accountability for those mistakes. And that's exactly right. There are people, you know those people, and if you're listening right now, you might have been that person at some point in time. Maybe not to this extent, but you made a mistake. You are a good person, made a mistake, and you had to pay the consequences for it, but that doesn't mean that you're a bad person. You have an entire context of life that exists around that doesn't make that one mistake define who you are, but it doesn't take the mistake away. That mistake will leave a scar. It will form and shape the rest of your life, and hopefully not many other people's lives, but possibly. You cannot pretend that the mistake doesn't exist. You have to look directly into it and understand every inch of it so that it never happens again.
Right. You can't fix what went wrong if you don't acknowledge that something, in fact, did go wrong. I'm going to put this in the context of my job here as producer. There are things that go wrong technically, or buttons that I have clicked incorrectly. And like the very first thing that you got to do after you do that is look at this and go, okay, what was it that I did incorrectly in here? Do you understand what you did incorrectly? And then you know what to do moving forward to fix it. That's how they regain the confidence of the American people. They said, they look at this situation, they said, we've identified these 5 areas where we failed. And we have implemented strategies. And like you said, you don't want to put these out there, but you offer it to the senators in a closed-door hearing or whatever. Hey, we can show you what we did. We just don't want this to be public knowledge, because then the next shooter would go out there and do it. But I can give you what we've done to implement to correct the problems. And then the senators can come back out to the American people and said, yes, we've seen it, we can verify it, they have addressed the issues, we have confidence moving forward. That's how you do it. It's the honesty and the realness with the people that rebuilds the confidence.
There's also, like, I like your example of you're running the board, you're in charge of a lot of things, and every mistake you make is public.
It's very public.
It's for everybody to know, and sometimes you know that they're mistakes, and sometimes we will try to play it off. But oftentimes after something like that happens, my question to you is, what happened?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the answer is, I have no idea. You can go back and look at the tapes. He's not touching anything, and then we got to dig deeper. Other times it's this happened and this happened. He's, Brad is often trying to do like 6 things at one time, and his focus was over here, and something bad happened over there. And then you just have to, and I have to trust you to just try not to let that happen again, whatever that situation might be. And then you just move on, but you have to address the issue. You can't just be like,
being honest with yourself about the mistakes that you make is how you improve in your craft, whatever it is. Yes. My craft isn't protecting the president, and it doesn't carry with it the same stakes that does.
It's protecting Ryan Wiggins.
But yeah, it's protecting Ryan Wiggins. Yeah, I'll be the one diving on top of him as somebody shoots him in the ear.
Ooh, let's just practice. During Wiggins America, right in the middle.
Yeah.
Smack.
Get down, Mr. President. Get down, Mr. Wigglesworth.
If you yelled, get down, Mr. President, I wonder if he'd just hit the deck. I'm going to get to his psyche a little bit. He probably did in his office when you said that.
But it is. It's how you improve. It's how you get better at the job. And I don't understand the idea or the mindset that A, says that I'm the best that there is at this, and there's no room for improvement. I don't get that. You could be the best that there is at that, and if you are truly a competitor, if you're truly pursuing excellence, you always identify the room for improvement. And whenever I see like the previous lady, Cheadle, she was just didn't want to say anything, was in complete CYA mode.
And I saw the headlines. That was vacation mode for me. So I saw the headlines. She's out. I didn't consume that.
Oh, man. It was bad.
I from all the right subjects I could garner, it was no bueno. No. Kate says, as poorly as they did last time, the damn roof will be the only thing well covered. Let's hope not.
They'll have a whole team up there.
Yeah. We want to know from you in the YouTube live chat poll, how do you see the attempt on Trump's life? A massive system failure or something more conspiratorial? JC said, there was more behind this, I'm afraid. And Janine said, how can anyone not see that there is some conspiracy aspect? Well, looking at the results as they come in, you guys are pretty close. So if you've got a thought on this, we want to hear what you have to say. We're going to keep reading your thoughts throughout the course of the show, and we'll give the results of today's poll. System failure or something conspiratorial? At about 2:55 is usually when we read those results. Don't go away. Let's get Wiggins America in here. Mr. President, in just a minute. Don't go away.
What is wrong?
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
I could stay with you for a while, maybe longer if I do.
Cassens and Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Just go to CassensSons.com, CassensSons.com, and you can learn more about the place that I have bought my last two vehicles, another additional one, I don't know, a few years before that. I trust Cassens, and you can trust them as well. Please give them the opportunity to earn your business for your next vehicle purchase. My family, my son is going to be 15 in December, which means he's getting his permit. Holy crud, that's scary stuff. I am going to go to Cassens to get whatever it is that we end up, some sort of simple vehicle that he can drive to and from. I'm going to talk to them first because I trust them to be honest with me, to give me a fair price. They've always given me a fair price. I've price matched what they have offered us in other places, and they're spot on with being very competitive. And they have the best in Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Used vehicles as well, certified used as well. Go to CassensSons.com and see the inventory available right now. And if you have a question about something specific, they do, trust me, have the best sales staff in the business. 618-800-2712, 618-800-2712, 618-800-2712. Cassens & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram in Glen Carbon, about a mile north on 159 off 270, online at CassensSons.com.
Can Missouri Republicans trust Bill Eigel? President Trump doesn't. President Trump criticized Eigel for deceiving voters by using his image in campaign ads. Trump even threatened legal action against Eigel. Why does President Trump oppose Bill Eigel? It's because Eigel's campaign is bankrolled by the same rich liberals who are funding ads that attack Trump's record and character. Bill Eigel is a dishonest politician who is bought and paid for by never-Trumpers. There's a better choice. Conservative Republican Mike Kehoe is a businessman and job creator. Kehoe has a bold plan to provide relief to Missouri families who are getting crushed by Biden's inflation. As our governor, Mike Kehoe will eliminate the state income tax to put more money back in your pocket. Mike Kehoe is the conservative Republican we can trust.
Cops for Kehoe is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Cops for Kehoe, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
There's Mike Kehoe's campaign bus that's owned by a Chinese lobbyist. Swampy Kehoe is hitching a ride after voting 4 times to sell Missouri farmland to China. Luckily, Trump-endorsed conservative Jay Ashcroft is tough on China. He led the charge to stop China from buying our farms. Call and thank Ashcroft for being China's worst enemy. 573-751-4936. Paid for by Stand for US PAC, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. StandForUS.com.
Celebrate National Carpet Cleaning Month with Zero Resin. Get 3 rooms of carpet clean for $129 and the 4th room free. And take $75 off your air duct cleaning. Call now, 314-474-2020 or book online at ZeroResSTL.com.
By now, you've heard Adam Schnelting's false attack ads. Don't buy his lies. Adam Schnelting says he opposes the transgender agenda, but he's trying to conceal the truth. Schnelting has received more than $71,000 from liberal trial lawyers. Those same trial lawyers supporting Schnelting also gave over $100,000 to a liberal group that supports men playing girls' sports, supports men using girls' bathrooms, and even supports gender mutilation surgeries for minors. To make matters worse, Adam Schnelting says he supports our gun rights, but he's received thousands from leading anti-gun lawyers that filed a massive lawsuit against gun makers and gun owners. But that's not all. These liberal lawyers don't just fund Adam Schnelting's campaign, their anti-gun lawsuits, or the transgender movement. They've also been leading funders of Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, and even the Joe Biden-Kamala Harris ticket. Adam Schnelting. With friends like that, conservatives just can't trust him. On August 6th, don't forget Adam Schnelting. He's loved by liberals, and he lies like one too.
Gladius PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Gladius PAC, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Today's YouTube live chat poll, how do you see the attempt on Trump's life? Is it a massive system failure, or is it something more conspiratorial? This is definitely something we would like your opinion on. 12:50 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Mark Cox here. I've put together my Missouri voter guide just for you. Visit 971talk.com to see it, because the future of our state is happening now. Get my voter guide at 971talk.com and go vote.
I got my mind set on you. I got my mind set on you.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
But it's gonna take money, a whole lot of spending money. It's gonna take plenty of money to do it right, child. It's gonna take time.
Wiggins.
Oh, Wiggins science.
Yeah, this is the science. I apologize ahead of time that you can't debate it, but we can talk about it.
Oh, we can debate it.
No, it's the science. You can't.
We can debate it. Nobody listens.
Yeah, I am the science.
We'll just get kicked off of YouTube.
I wish you had some Fauci underpants on right now. Maybe you do.
Yeah, that was a long pause and a weird look, Ryan.
Yeah, he's like, how does she know?
Dang it.
You're making a lot of assumptions about my underwear. I don't appreciate that.
I don't want to think about it anymore. Never mind. Forget I said it. I regret everything.
Okay. Do you consider yourself, after that joke, to have a dark sense of humor?
I have a broad sense of humor because I'm a woman.
That's right where I was going. Doggone it. You beat me. Brad, do you have a broad sense of humor?
Can't write this stuff.
I have a good sense of humor, yes.
Are you a good humor man?
No.
The question originally was, do you have a dark sense of humor?
Yeah.
Indeed.
Do you?
Oh, yeah.
I would think that
Mr. Deadpool over there.
everybody has a little, even if you say you don't, you have a little streak of it. Because everybody gets a good, like, ooh, taboo joke every now and then. So there is a study about this that says people with dark humor and other, but they took it very dark apparently, other cruel personality traits are more likely to engage in online trolling.
Lump those together.
Doesn't it seem a little much?
Brad's a troll.
Oh, yeah.
So, but you just admitted that you have a dark sense of humor.
Yeah.
They're saying that people who openly admit, yes, I have a dark sense of humor, are more likely to troll online.
Yeah, I troll online. But what was the other part of that? Dark sense of humor and what?
Cruel personality traits.
That is not me.
That's what I thought.
Well,
I'm like, really?
This seems like the science because it's like, let's just take two things that we don't like and stick them together and tie them together with the science.
And call them one more thing that annoys us online.
Mm-hmm.
And which is kind of vague. You know, if I say you have a dark sense of humor, you can interpret that really any way you want. But now it's part of established science because it's been published in the Journal of Behavioral Sciences. And they are saying
How
that
did they spell behavioral? Is it like
it doesn't
the Brits?
matter. How about this one? How did they spell Machiavellianism? Because that's what they said it leads to, is sadism and Machiavellianism.
Man, he nailed that
I
word.
think they looked up dark tetrad and just started writing the words down that came underneath that. And they're like, these are all the personality traits.
Dark tetrad is in here. How did you know that?
Because he's one of them.
Yes, he is.
Machiavellianism, psychopathy.
It says,
Sociopathic.
you tell me about this one here. Interestingly, online trolls did not appear to enjoy being trolled, but they enjoy trolling.
It depends on the kind of trolling.
You can appreciate a good troll.
I can appreciate a good troll. A good troll. The
Yeah.
lame ones are lame, and that doesn't entertain me.
The left can't meme.
No.
So they don't have really good ones.
It's
You're
fun
not
when
going
they
to get
try.
that. Next one is dogs can smell their human stress, apparently. Previous research has shown that dogs are apt at reading verbal and visual cues, as well as sniffing out physical and mental illnesses in people. But a new study published last week in Scientific Reports cautioned dog owners that the ills of humanity are depressing your pets. Can you tell?
No, I'm never stressed out.
That's what I thought.
Totally chill. My dog just does circles all the time in the room. It's like the Zoomies on steroids, but I don't know why. I'm chill.
I'd have to say
more relaxed.
that this is one of those tests that I really like, because if you walk in, your dog's all jumping up, you're like, hey, I must not be stressed. My dog's doing fine.
I think dogs are super smart, though.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I don't doubt that dogs are able to sense things. I don't know that. How do you determine that they smell? What's stress smell like? I mean, I've smelled it on people, but I don't know that it's consistent.
Have you?
Ryan, I gotta talk to you later.
What does it smell like?
Kind of like that.
Like oatmeal cream pies.
Just out your pores.
Smells like sugar and crumbs.
And fear.
Two things I really love about this study is that first, the article starts with smells like mean spirit.
Oh.
And
you were like, tell me more.
Yeah, I'm in. The second is that their point is that humans are so stressed that you now need to consider your dog. You're overstressed. Think about your dog for a second.
Yeah, thanks for alleviating some of that stress now.
Yeah.
It's like the only thing that makes me happy in life is my dog when I come home.
Yeah.
Think about the cat ladies. I mean, don't.
The cats are fine. They can't smell anything. And
Yeah,
even if they could, I'm not sure if they would
no,
care.
they can smell it. They live off of it.
Oh, yeah, they create it.
Mm-hmm.
And then they suck it out of your body like energy. A cure is a little much. Sorry. Last one, and this is the best one of all. The fear of going bald is something that weighs on the minds and scalps of millions of men around the world. But if you're anxiously checking your hairline, there is finally good news, as the science has finally found a potential cure for male pattern baldness. The researchers were not looking for a cure for baldness, but they realized that sugar gel.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Well, we know that's false.
Is that where the oatmeal cream pies are coming into play?
Uh-huh. You take the pie,
Just
you
a
eat
little.
it. You take the cream, you rub it. They noticed that the mice's hair that they were
I didn't
testing
know that's
this on.
what you were doing with my oatmeal cream pies.
Yeah, you were
I
probably
regret everything.
It happens when you're out of the room and it's under my hat.
Well, I appreciate you waiting for me to leave.
They found
It's
that
under my hat.
if you mix it with mix sugar gel with the Rogaine stuff, that it makes hair follicles
How do you come up with that?
grow again.
How are you like, let's try this?
They
You
were
smoked
trying
something.
They were
That's what
trying
you
to
do.
heal wounds, and they found out that the hair around the wounds was growing.
Jim Carafano and Scott Presler on the Annie Fry Show. When we come back in the 1 o'clock hour, don't go away.
I'm Tim Fitch, former councilman and police chief in St. Louis County, and I've seen firsthand how politicians have failed us. When I was on the county council, I saw Democrat Sam Page bail out Ernie Tracus from a sexual harassment claim using $60,000 of your taxpayer money. Tracus has been paying back liberal Sam Page ever since. Even the Post-Dispatch called Ernie Tracus Page's Republican ally on the council. I even witnessed Tracus try to defund our police. It's time for someone to stand up for you, not Sam Page's liberal agenda. On August 6th, vote conservative Republican Mike Archer for county council. Mike Archer supports law enforcement and has earned the endorsement of the St. Louis County Police Officers Association. Mike Archer, a small business owner, will cut red tape and support local businesses so they can thrive. He believes in fiscal responsibility and lower taxes. Mike stands for our Second Amendment rights, defending our families and our homes. It's time for change in St. Louis County. On August 6th, vote conservative Republican Mike Archer for County Council.
I'm Mike Archer, and I approve this message paid for by Archer for County Council, James Murphy, Treasurer.
Windowworld.com, 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494. This St. Louis location has been owned and operated and managed by a group of born and raised St. Louis residents for over 2 decades. So when you shop at Window World, you are shopping with your local neighbors. And I think that is important for a lot of people listening to this station to be able to support local people. Window World offers you a quality window, a high-quality window. In just over 20 years in business, they've improved the look and thermal efficiency of over 72,000 customers in St. Louis. That number is growing by the day. They offer a lifetime warranty that goes along with their replacement windows, and that lifetime warranty covers all parts and glass breakage, which is pretty common with the warranty, but it adds in labor, which is incredibly uncommon for those warranties. And a reminder, right now, Window World is offering up to 36 months, same as cash financing, with approved credit. Reach out to them at 314-993-1800, 314-993-1800. Tell them Annie sent you. Windowworld.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Israel response. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Explosions in Beirut as Israel strikes back at militants in Lebanon after a deadly weekend rocket attack.
We understand, according to the Israeli military, this was an airstrike targeting a Hezbollah commander that the Israelis say is responsible for the deaths of those 12 children and teens in Masjid al-Shams in the northern part of the Golan Heights on Saturday.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. Hezbollah still denies responsibility, but Israel's defense minister says the group crossed a red line. It's not clear yet whether the commander targeted in today's airstrike survived. He's reportedly the same one wanted by the U.S. for his role in a 1983 Marine barracks bombing in Beirut that killed more than 240 Americans. A sometimes testy Senate hearing for the new head of the Secret Service, Acting Director Ronald Rowe.
I acknowledge this was a failure of the Secret Service.
Is it not prima facie that somebody has failed? A former president was shot.
Sir, this could have been our Texas school book depository. I have lost sleep over that for the last 17 days,
Then
just like you
fire
have.
somebody to
and I will
hold them
tell you,
accountable.
Senator.
Rowe telling Missouri Republican Senator Josh Hawley he will not rush to judgment on who is held accountable. The FBI is still investigating the shooter's motive, in part through his social media footprint.
Some of these comments, if ultimately attributable to the shooter, appear to reflect anti-Semitic and anti-immigration themes, to espouse political violence, and are described as extreme in nature.
Deputy FBI Director Paul Abate telling lawmakers it's not clear yet whether that account was the gunman's. The Senate just passing a bill aimed at protecting children online, in part by giving kids options to protect their information, disable addictive features, and opt out of personalized recommendations from algorithms. It would require companies to exercise a duty of care. Still needs a House vote. America is listening to Fox News.
You've got a Pepto predicament, Beach Bum.
Hey, we're heading down to the beach. You coming?
Yeah, Dad. You coming?
I had a little too much to eat at the resort buffet. I need a minute. Oh, you overdid it. And now your beach vacation is giving you belly waves. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief so you can get back to making memories.
Let's go, Dad!
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie. When you use Angie for your home projects, you know all your jobs will be done well. Roof repair? Done well. Kitchen sink install? Done well. Deck upgrades? Done well. Electrical upgrade? Done well. Angie's been connecting homeowners with skilled pros for nearly 30 years, so we know the difference between done and done well. Hire high-quality, certified pros at Angie.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
The official 97.1 FM Talk Weather Center forecast: an excessive heat warning in effect through 7 p.m. Thursday. Partly cloudy and warm tonight. A drenching thunderstorm, flash flooding and damaging winds possible. Low 79. A thunderstorm in the area early tomorrow morning. Otherwise very hot with intervals of clouds and sun. We'll see a high tomorrow of 99. Thursday hot, variable cloudiness. A heavy afternoon thunderstorm, high 97. I'm Drew Shannon for 97.1 FM Talk.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Ooh, I'm so ready for this weekend away with my girls.
Hey, hit the road? How about some free gas?
Free gas? How?
Try new Febreze car for some serious freshness and you can win gas for a full year. Visit Febreze.com to learn more.
Say less.
You may not win, but you're gonna have a fresh smelling whip.
Thanks, DJ Fresh. Now how about some music?
Hey, yo, this next one goes out to new Febreze car for giving you a chance to win free gas.
La 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 la.
No purchase necessary. Must be 18 to enter in 73124 for rules and how to enter. Visit Febreze.com.
Before you sell your home, consider your options. Mark Cox here, and for years now I've been telling you about St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria is an expert in selling homes for the most money because she has the guarantees, the buyers, and different solutions for every type of seller. She recently provided a family multiple cash offers in minutes so they could move quickly with no showings, no costly repairs, and no hassles. Now, not everyone's looking for multiple cash offers. That's why Gloria will sell your home at your agreed upon price or she'll buy it. Her name says it all, Your Home Sold Guaranteed. Regardless of whether you're looking for multiple cash offers or you want to utilize her Guaranteed Sold program to ensure you get the most money possible. Here's your next step. Call Gloria at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
For over 2 decades, Joe Brazel has served St. Charles County with passion and dedication. As your county councilman, Joe has championed smart growth with Proposition S, protected our veterans by stopping military funeral protests, stood against excessive high-density housing, and supported the 2030 Master Plan for controlled infrastructure. Joe Brazel, a true patriot working for you.
I'm Joe Brazel, running for St. Charles County Council, District 2, vote August 6th.
Paid for by Citizens for Joe Brazel, Mike Summers, Treasurer.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
It's what's happening.
She was the border czar.
Right now.
I've asked the VP to lead our efforts stemming the migration to our southern border.
Keeping you informed and up to date.
Now they're trying to say she never was the border czar.
97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Yes, today my country is going to be one of the biggest days in Venezuela history. For the past 25 years, we had people there, and me, I was part of it. We have lived in a dictatorship, and I really pray to God that it comes to an end. I don't think any player has spoke about this, but I really pray to the U.S. government to keep an eye on it, because they're gonna do whatever they're gonna do to stay in the power. But the country is speaking, and we all want the change, and it's really I got really emotional because last night I know what's going to happen today is really tough for all the Venezuelans, and especially for me, because I had a chance to play for Venezuela and I didn't, and I regret that. But today I think it's one of those days where my emotions were there, and really praying to God for a complete change in Venezuela, because all the Venezuelan people needs that, and we need the change for good.
You know, when you're in the dugout after a game, and this was after, I think, the night that Goldschmidt hit the home run and we won the bottom of the ninth, whatever. The St. Louis Cardinals, the press pool goes over to Wilson Contreras, DH and catcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. He had gotten visibly emotional, was crying on the field, and the press responsibly asked him, what's going on? Well, Contreras is from Venezuela, and he was talking about the election that was about to happen. And the impact of what is taking place right now in Venezuela is something that the world should be watching. There might be ties to what's going on in the United States. I don't know. We're going to ask our expert about that in a second. But I found it very interesting that Contreras, a Venezuelan, looking at the elections that were about to take place, since then have taken place. Now the country is in protest all over the place regarding those results. This is an incredibly impactful thing. And that is the type of emotion that comes when you have the ability to escape a dictatorship. That emotion stays with you. Let's get to our guest. Jim Carafano joins us once again, Senior Counselor to the President and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. Jim, welcome back. Good to have you.
Hey, it's great to be with you. I would say this is a surprise where we are, but it was absolutely 1,000% predictable that we were going to be at this day. And to me, what's mostly shocking is that we have a U.S. government which was totally unprepared for this.
So can you explain, Maduro, a dictator, I was trying to follow this as it was going on. It didn't look good for him, but then all of a sudden he claims victory. Then a lot of things get shut down in the middle of the night. And then there's a proclamation of victory the next day. And now it looks like even people who are on Maduro's side in the streets are starting to potentially take over or to go in with the other protesters that they were supposed to be policing. Where is Venezuela right now?
We don't know. I mean, this is often the way with dictatorships. I always recommend to people to read Natan Sharansky's book on the case for democracies. One of the things about dictatorships is it's all based on this premise of control and power. And because it's controlled in power, there's no transparency. And even the people running the regime don't know how fragile or how firm their control is. And so that's why when these things do collapse, they collapse suddenly, and it's a surprise to all of us. So whether we're at the day where this regime, literally the people supporting it walk away and Maduro is or not, remains to be seen. I mean, don't forget, the last time these guys got in trouble, they flew in a bunch of Cubans and other people to prop them up. So the Cubans, the this is not an isolated regime. They're backed by narco traffickers, the Cubans, the Russians, the Chinese, the Iranians. So they have lots of cards they can call on for help. So whether they can do that and oppress the population and put down the violence, much the way the Iranians have put down multiple popular uprisings in Iran under the Ayatollah. We don't know. I don't even think they know until we see what happens.
I mean, we're not going to see, my assumption, my probably ignorant assumption is Maduro's not going to go, well, I lost, and then turn over power. Right. I mean, it seems like if it's either the dictatorship continues or there's going to be a lot of violence, likely death and destruction that's going to take place in between Maduro's dictatorship and whatever comes next.
Well, I mean, there could be, he could maintain control and get a lot of violence because you have to remember, he is not isolated. He always has access to the Chinese and the Russians, the Iranians, and narco traffickers. So if he survives this claim of winning an election, there will be people who will bail him out and keep him in power. We just have to look at it from a grossly U.S. perspective. Venezuela has been a monumental problem. It is one of the platforms for massive human trafficking in the United States from all over the world, narco trafficking and criminal gangs and everything else. So Venezuelans have been exporting disaster into the U.S. for years. The Biden regime had a strategy of engagement and alignment, that we figure out a way to engage with people, we figure out a way to have common, and then and that's going to take, and it's clearly not working. I mean, it hasn't worked anywhere. It didn't work with Yemen, didn't work with Iran, didn't work with anybody. And this one's right in our own backyards. And what's stunning about this is they gave a whole bunch of things to these guys, and they said, "Oh, you'll hold free and fair elections, right?" And they said, "Oh yeah, sure." And of course, nobody thought they would, and they didn't. And now our administration is just literally the leader of the free world is a guy in Argentina, right? The president of Argentina. He is literally rallying the free world in support of Venezuela. When the guy and girl that are supposed to be the leaders of the free world, they're basically sitting in Washington, and I don't know. I don't know what they're doing. Maybe they're watching the Olympics. They don't have time for this. I don't know.
Well, I think about the American government's interest in what's going on in Ukraine, pushing back against Putin. You've listed off a lot of nefarious players or not friends of the United States that are in support of status quo in Venezuela. What would you like to see America do to aid or involve themselves in what's going on in Venezuela?
Yeah, I mean, look, what you always do is, look, I don't believe in regime change. And I don't believe in nation building or any of that junk. But I do believe in supporting people that want to speak for themselves. So this is a problem that has to be solved by the Venezuelans. We could put enormous pressure to cut off the things that help Maduro stay in power. And we've done that before. And, timing is everything. I mean, if we did that now and we did that in a massively aggressive way, the government, I would think that would contribute to the government falling. Yeah. Or we could just sit back and look like yahoos, which is kind of what we're doing.
Let's shift gears to the Middle East. Fox News reports the Israel Defense Forces announces that they carried out a strike in Beirut on Tuesday, targeting the commander accused of orchestrating the recent attack on a children's soccer field. The IDF said that its forces, quote, carried out a targeted strike in Beirut on the commander responsible for the murder of these children and the killing of numerous additional Israeli civilians. It seems as though in the last 48 hours, things have escalated in that region. What's taking place?
Yeah, I wouldn't say escalation, because what's interesting about this strike is it was designed evidently to be proportional. Somebody did something, they went after the perpetrators. It wasn't like the Israelis launched a broad preemptive campaign against Hezbollah. So it still seems that they are trying to ward off Hezbollah. Everybody knows that Hezbollah is 10 times the military that Hamas has, a much bigger problem. But if Hezbollah wanted to pick a war with Israel, the time to do that was when Israel was bogged down with Hamas. The Israelis are free to be more demonstrative in facing Hezbollah because they pretty much kind of wrapped up the Hamas problem in Gaza. That frees up resources to then turn north. So, Hezbollah has a lot more military power. Yeah, they can do a lot of damage, but now they're also facing, pretty much the full might of the Israeli military. Do they really want to do that? My guess is what we saw today is that the Israelis think not. So this is a hammer blow to tell the Hezbollah to back off. So, the interesting thing is none of this was happening if it wasn't for Iran, which, by the way, was another example of an administration's strategy of engagement and alignment, which didn't work, right? But Iran, they are perfectly willing to fight to the last Lebanese or the last Palestinian.
Yeah, it's different stakes, different values. I mean, when you're talking about Venezuela, when you're talking about what's going on in the Middle East, it seems as though there's always a common few names, but specifically Iran is what always seems to be at the epicenter of these conflicts. And I can't help but look at the policy, the very heavy hand that the previous administration took towards Iran. And then if you go back another administration to the Obama administration and compound that with the Biden administration, we've had very dramatically different approaches to how we handle the Iranians. Does that play into what's happening in the world?
Yeah, I'm going to say this. And look, I always say this 1,000 times. I'm not partisan, not Republican, not a Democrat, don't have a dog in the fight. But I mean, to me, this is one of the frustrations of this particular news cycle, which is we have media and everybody basically focused on painting this amazing narrative of Harris, who's now the presidential candidate, and ignoring the reality of Biden-Harris. So, we've had two things in the last 2 days. Literally, she's the one that stepped forward and said, "Oh, I'm really worried about, children dying here." And, well, the day after she basically said, I'm for Hamas and Hezbollah, what happened? Well, the day after, Hamas refused a ceasefire deal because America just gave them a signal that they've got their back. And then the day after that, Hezbollah does an attack and kills a bunch of kids. So if you want a demonstration of poor judgment in foreign policy, that's kind of it. Everything in the Middle East got worse a day after you basically gave the green light to the bad guys. And she can deny this, but she was the partial architect of the engagement policy in Latin America, which was supposed to help secure the border. And that policy, as we saw with Venezuela today, is an unbelievably abject failure. Now, look, I'm not telling you who to vote for, but those are legitimate issues to be discussing in the news cycle. Mm-hmm. Look at the direct consequences of your leadership as a foreign policy leader. And yet nobody really wants to talk about that, except you and a couple other people. And instead they want to have a narrative about, isn't this historic? Isn't this great? Isn't this wonderful? Don't we have another kind of wonderful shining moment here, which is all about narrative, spinning a narrative of the candidate and not talking about judgment, policies, and character, which in my mind are the things that really ought to matter when you pick a president.
We're speaking with Jim Carafano here, and I'm curious, all I go back to in my mind when the Vice President Harris was being asked about the border, have you been to the border? And she's like, we've been to the border. And she said, well, I haven't been to Europe either. And I'm just thinking like, wow, what a statement about somebody who's potentially going to end up being the president of the United States. It doesn't seem as though she has the real life experience of engaging across the world and being in these areas and understanding them. Gives me pause.
Well, I agree. Okay, there are lots of places in the world I haven't been to that I talk policy about. You've been the vice president for 4 years. By your own admission and by the president's admission, you are a key member of his leadership team. You agree with everything he has done. And we don't have to talk about your travel plans. I don't even care if you've actually ever touched the border. But we can talk about the policies that have been implemented for 4 years and ask the kind of question that normally, is the question we ought to ask, which is, am I better off than I was 4 years ago?
It's a very simple question to ask. I want to ask you a question about one other topic, and I don't know how much of the hearing on the Senate that you were able to hear today about the Secret Service, but I wondered your thoughts on the massive system failure, maybe something more that took place when Donald Trump was shot and somebody else lost their life.
Yeah, I actually have an observation on this. I actually haven't heard a lot of people talk about. Everybody gets the first part of this comment, which is, look, these guys really only have one job. I mean, there's some other stuff they do, but they exist for one purpose: to protect candidates, to protect high officials, to protect national. That's the only purpose they have in life, and they failed at that. But not only did they fail, the attack that we had is actually reflective of almost every presidential assassination attempt we've had in history. It's not Carlos the Jackal. It's not some super complicated Mission Impossible plot. It's somebody thinking they're going to go kill the president, doing something that ought to be stopped. Like, this should not work, right? This is kind of a stupid idea. Like, go in a high security event and then just think, well, I'll just go up there and shoot him, right? So most security is actually designed to stop people just like this. The people who are more, I would say, lucky than good, because that doesn't sound right. But what I'm saying is, it's not designed to stop Carlos the Jackal. Mm-hmm. It's designed to stop the crazy Yahoo who wants to make a headline by killing the president. So they have not only failed in their basic mission, they failed against exactly the kind of plot that they know they have to deal with. Nobody was asking them to stop, this Mission Impossible team with disguises and secret weapons. They were asked to stop a guy who's 20 years old with no military experience, with no operational experience, who learned how to do all this stuff basically, watching YouTube, and an AR-15. And they failed. This is such a catastrophic failure. This would be like the invasion of Normandy and the army forgetting to show up. That's how bad this is.
Is it easily fixable?
I can only presume, because I don't know, I don't have the facts, that when you have an organization that is purpose-built for a purpose, and it's funded to do that purpose, and it utterly catastrophically fails, that it's a problem of leadership. So the answer is, if that's true, then the answer is, yeah.
Yeah, change the leadership. Jim Carafano, thank you. We love talking to you about these things, and you always provide a lot of insight. We're grateful for it. Thanks for being here.
All right. Thanks for having me.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.
Yep,
Bye.
next week. Jim Carafano, Senior Counselor to the President and E.W. Richardson Fellow for International Engagement at the Heritage Foundation. A great mind on these important topics. I'm very proud of myself that I got all three of them in. It went a little bit long. Scott Presler is going to join us when we come back. You've heard him here many times before. He's the founder and executive director of Early Vote Action. He's the hardest working man in politics. Scott Presler trying to win Pennsylvania for Trump by registering voters. Go to earlyvoteaction.com on the break here, and we'll talk to Scott when we come back.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
RulerFoods.com, your easy savings on grocery shopping. So simple to go to Ruler Foods, shop their store. It's set up the way a lot of grocery stores are shot up, where you've got the produce, the meat, and the freezer stuff all on the perimeter. And then on the inside, you've got your goods that you're going to put in your pantry, the goods that you're used to shopping and maybe not as used to saving so much on. They carry those name brands that you love, and they also carry Kroger brands, a great brand that you can put in your pantry. We do a lot of Kroger in our pantry, in our refrigerator, and you get to save a little extra on it. Right now, you can save on delicious, fresh produce, cherries, $2.99 a pound, red or white seedless grapes, $1.27 a pound, watermelon or cantaloupe seedless, $2.99 each. When you are looking for good quality groceries, great quality groceries, but you don't want to pay an arm and a leg for them, you shop at Ruler Foods. And I'm happy to announce that they now have delivery. So if you're looking for the local ad, the recent ad, or a way to schedule delivery to your door, just visit rulerfoods.com.
I'm Robert Cornejo. It is an honor to serve as judge for St. Charles County, the community that I am proud to be raising my family in. In my courtroom, I follow the Constitution and the rule of law. I'm not here to legislate from the bench. I'm here to ensure justice is carried out efficiently and fairly. My number one priority as a judge is to make sure this is a safe community for families like mine.
Robert Cornejo served in the Missouri House, where he defended the sanctity of life, prevented illegal immigrants from receiving taxpayer-subsidized tuition, fought against big government, and strengthened our Second Amendment rights. Judge Robert Cornejo is endorsed by the St. Louis County Police Association and Eastern Missouri Coalition of Police for his work to keep St. Charles County safe. Judge Cornejo also has the support of local firefighters.
When you cast your vote, I hope that you will allow me, Judge Robert Cornejo, to be the next circuit judge for St. Charles County.
Paid for by friends of Robert Cornejo. Allison Onder, Treasurer.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 40-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term life insurance may only cost you about $100 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Providers help thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-353-9057. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-353-9057. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life insurance, call 800-353-9057, 800-353-9057, or biglou.com.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
Mark Cox here. Join me, Annie Fry, and Mark Reardon, along with Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw of the Retirement Advisory Group for the Protecting Your Retirement educational event Tuesday, August 6th. It's at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Seats are limited, so go online at retirementkey.com. Here's Thomas and Bob with more.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering what to do with your life savings? Are you concerned how a major market correction will affect your retirement? Would you like to have a personalized, structured income plan that shows you the monthly income you'll receive in retirement and how to never outlive it?
Did you also know if you're 59 and a half or older, you can roll over your company retirement plan tax-free to protect your nest egg from any more losses? You'll get all the answers and more. If you're 59 and a half or older, you cannot afford to miss this event.
Protect your retirement nest egg and join the official financial advisors of my show, Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw, Tuesday, August 6th at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. Go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Tuesday afternoon, 1 week and counting to the Missouri primary. Also, why are two biological men competing against women in boxing at the Olympics?
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
The idea that men can gather to talk about how we feel, interesting, powerful concept. And to include all, we said in our invitation, everyone is welcome. That's a really interesting phrase. Everyone is welcome. You might hear it in other places. I'm pretty sure you can feel that it's true here with this particular political party and this particular candidate.
He sounds really confident. He's really selling it there. That's Rudy. He made Notre Dame's football team. It was a huge underdog story. He's trying to apply that to Kamala Harris with a thing called, let me make sure I get this right, white dudes for Kamala Harris. I think they're out DEIing themselves. I think they've been so successful with DEI so far that now they need to have outreach to white dudes. I don't get it. This is what the left is trying to do to bring people into the tent. They've isolated white men so much that they actually now are trying to get Samwise, not the troll. What is he called?
He's a hobbit.
Whatever. All I know is Elijah Wood cries way too much in that movie. It's not for me.
You need to calm down there, Mr. Frodo.
No, exactly. You need people who have spirit, you need people who have energy, and you need to have people who have clear focus. Not just like, maybe we should talk to white dudes. It's not enough. And the Republicans have the best in the business. In all of politics, Scott Presler is that guy. He's the founder and executive director of Early Vote Action, earlyvoteaction.com. Go check it out right now. You'll be glad you did. Scott, thank you so much for making time for us today. It's good to have you back.
Oh, thanks, Annie. Well, you've had my back throughout the years, so
yes, of course.
Appreciate it.
You what is it, Bucks County that you flipped? Tell me the story of your work in Pennsylvania, but specifically that county, because you're seeing real measurable success that a lot of other people just talk about.
Well, like you said, this is tangible. So 4 years ago, Democrats in Bucks County, Pennsylvania, which is just outside of Philly, they had an advantage of 15,000 more registered Democrats than Republicans. And this county voted in 2016 for Hillary Clinton. This county, Bucks County, voted for Joe Biden in 2020. And so the fact that today there are 300 more registered Republicans than Democrats, meaning a shift of 15,300 to the right in just 4 years.
Wow.
In a state where Joe Biden, quote unquote, won by 80,000. This is no less than monumental, monstrous, earth-shattering. And here's the interesting thing. So we get data for Pennsylvania every Monday, every 7 days. And so, after Joe Biden was forced out of his role for the Democrat nominee, which was very undemocratic, and now that we have the presumptive Kamala as the Democrat, the quote-unquote astroturf enthusiasm would make you believe that, all these voters were coming out now and registering to vote for Kamala. Now, despite this, Republicans in the last week continued to have a net gain statewide in Pennsylvania, and we increased our lead in Bucks County, despite it being the swing county outside of Philly. And so I'm here to tell all the doom and gloomers or the naysayers or the people that think that Kamala has all of this enthusiasm is we are not seeing those numbers translate in Pennsylvania.
Scott Presler's with us right now on the Annie Fry Show. You need to check out earlyvoteaction.com to see how you can be a part of this. And, Scott, I live in Illinois. Hopeless. It feels hopeless. We'll see how Chicago handles the convention here in a short amount of time. Missouri, a pretty solid red state. We've got our primary coming up, but it's presumptive that the Republican primary winners will likely go on to win the general election. But there's a lot of work to be done in Pennsylvania, added Michigan, Wisconsin, Arizona, Georgia, other places like that, Nevada, maybe even Minnesota and Virginia. Who knows? What do you want to tell people listening right now in the bi-state region, Missouri and Illinois, about the effect that they can have on this actual election? Of course, they need to go vote on Election Day or leading up to it. What can they do to help you?
I need help registering voters, even in Missouri, even in Illinois. But if you are saying, Scott, I know the state of Illinois, and I would much rather help in Wisconsin. Or, Scott, I'm in Missouri, and it's so red. What can I do to help Pennsylvania? Well, one thing that makes Early Vote Action different is we have our own app that you can download via iPhone or your Android, and it's a free application that you, even from St. Louis, Missouri, can write postcards that you get at Wally World or get on Amazon, whatever, or send text messages. Just don't send too many because I don't want your phone to get spammed by the Democrats. Or you can make phone calls literally from the comfort of your home into Pennsylvania. I provide you with names and addresses and scripts, or I provide you the name with the text message and a pre-populated script. I couldn't make it easier for you to be empowered from the comfort of your home to help register voters or get out the vote in Pennsylvania. And it's been these efforts in part from even people in California. Marcella has written 2,500 postcards into Bucks County, and she is a grandmother. Oh, no, get it, girl. She is a grandmother in California, has literally helped make a nationwide impact. So the moral of the story is you don't have to be an Annie Fry. You don't have to be a Scott Presler. Be a Marcella. Be a mom or a concerned citizen that is writing postcards, helping to affect change positively this November.
No, that's inspiring for people to hear, because as an Illinois resident, I do what I can to help local races. We've, got our county is red now, and we're working on some of the counties around us. But on a statewide effort and then voting in these national elections, it feels very hopeless sometimes. And this is a place to go. It's Early Vote Action. I have the app on my phone. I showed it to the camera on our live stream right now. This is a place where you can go and be a part of something, and you don't have to leave Illinois. You don't have to leave Missouri. Lots of active people in both of these states who want to be a part of a solution. But It's like if you've turned your state red, like Missouri, or if you feel like we're many cycles away from doing so in Illinois, you can make an impact this November. I mean, you've probably got Marcellas all across the country that are helping with this app.
Oh, we do. And I want to make it clear that while we are celebrating the flip of Bucks County, increasing our lead, we're already on to Luzerne County. And we are about 1,500 voters away from flipping Luzerne County, Pennsylvania. So if you are just getting on board the early vote action train and the voter registration train, then I welcome you to help download the Early Vote Action app and click on Luzerne County, either for phone calls, text messages, or postcards. And you can be a part of when I announce in a few weeks our next flip of another Pennsylvania county from blue to red, and you at home can be a part of that.
A lot of times I'll talk to guests before I have them on here, just like, what can I promote? What can I do? This is not something that you and I have talked about. And I just want to point out because it's so inspiring to me of all the politicians, the people that are in the business. This is what they do for a living. Scott, I don't know how you do it. I'm looking at the Early Vote Action app right now, and I can't even find a place to donate to you because there might be people who are listening and they're like, I'm not going to write a bunch of postcards, but I'd like to send $100 or something like that to make the cause a little more effective. And it's not even on here. You are only asking for you're just asking for people to vote for a better future. And I want to ask you very specifically, if people want to financially support you, is there an easy way for them to do it?
Thank you. Well, I will tell you that we now have a state director in Pennsylvania, Mayor John David Longo out of Butler, who was at the Butler rally where our president's life was, they came after him and they're coming after all of us. And that's why this it's so urgent we vote this November. But we also have 6 full-time staffers on the ground, and we are working at Early Vote Action towards having 18 full-time staff on the ground working on voter registration and boots on the ground. So if you want me to be able to hire more staff, please contribute at earlyvoteaction.com. Let me say that slower. earlyvoteaction.com. And if you don't want it to go to silly advertising on television or brick and mortar, we are going to make sure that every penny that you donate to Early Vote Action is going to full-time staff to have direct face-to-face, boots on the ground voter contact. And we also accept Bitcoin and crypto. Nice. I was there in Nashville at the Bitcoin conference, where President Trump said about a strategic stockpile and to sit on your Bitcoin and that we're going to not have burdensome regulation like the Democrats in Canada want to do, then you may also, we accept crypto at earlyvoteaction.com.
I love it, and I want people to make sure that they consider this as an opportunity to fund something that goes directly to getting people to the ballot box. Earlyvoteaction.com. Before we let you go, we're speaking with Scott Presler. He's the founder and executive director of Early Vote Action. When you're talking to people, because everything that you're doing here involves, it is as grassroots on the ground as you can possibly get. You're talking to people who might be considering voting for the first time, voting Republican for the first time. What are they concerned about, and what do they think about the candidates that they have to choose from?
Well, let me tell you, I understand that persuasion and conversion are important, but ultimately, the Democrats are just better about getting their people out to vote. There are more of us out there. And so let me break this down for you very briefly. Joe Biden, quote unquote, won Pennsylvania by 80,000 votes in 2020, right? There are 80,000 Amish in Pennsylvania. So go to your farmer's market and register voters. There are 80,000 truckers in Pennsylvania, 3.5 million statewide. The majority of those truckers do not vote. Go to your service plazas, go to your rest stops, go to your truck stops, get the truckers registered to vote, and make sure that if they're going to be driving on Election Day, that they have a plan to vote. We have 800,000 veterans in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. That is a community that has served us, that is aging. We must make sure that they have a plan to vote, all 800,000 of them. And last, and probably one of the most important, we have 930,000 hunters in Pennsylvania. 930,000 hunters, and 30% are not registered to vote, Annie. If every single hunter, if every single gun owner in America voted and voted Second Amendment, we will elect Donald J. Trump and his vice presidential candidate, J.D. Vance. And so I need you guys to go to gunshowtrader.com, look up a local gun show near you, get permission to go register voters, and register everyone to vote. Go to your gun show, your gun store, your gun range. Make sure that our hunters are prepared to vote this November. And if we do all of those things and go to those places that I asked you to go, we will win and we'll save our country. So get every single conservative, like-minded person that you know, get them registered, make sure they're an active voter, make sure that they're a registered Republican in states like Arizona, Nevada, Florida, Pennsylvania, New York, California, and make sure that they have a plan to either vote on November 5th, 2024, or to vote early in person or to vote by mail. We have 4 months to save our country. There's no going back if we are not able to win this November.
So I'm looking right now on earlyvoteaction.com. And it says at the top, voter resources. And then I see a map of the United States. And I'm going to pick Illinois. So it's a special place in my heart. I feel so bad about it. And then it just says, Illinois voter resources, register to vote. First name, last name, address, city, zip code, email address, mobile number. And then there's a button that says register to vote. Is it that simple?
That is the preliminary.
Mm-hmm.
The secondary is it goes to the Secretary of State website. So you do need to first find the state that you want to register. And then once you sign up with us, because we want to make sure that we get every person as a volunteer as well,
yes,
then you are directed to the SOS website. So it really is as easy as 2 minutes of your time. If you need to register to vote, go to earlyvoteaction.com. Or if you just simply want to register someone else to vote, because I'm a man that I just want you to get registered, type in California online voter registration, Illinois online voter registration, Florida online voter registration, and you will be able to use the Secretary of State website to register to vote online from the comfort of your home or electronic device.
So if you're walking around and talking to people, you just help them essentially fill out a form on the Secretary. It's really incredibly simple.
Yes, it's so easy to get people registered to vote. And also, look, if you haven't voted in the last 8 years, then you may not be a registered voter. If you haven't even voted in the last 4, you might be an inactive voter. So I challenge everybody listening right now, check your status.
Yeah.
And it might be as simple as typing in Missouri, check voter status, Illinois, check voter status, and make sure that you're at the same residence that you are currently living at. Make sure that you're registered with a party if you would like to be. Make sure that you're an active voter. Now, the reason why early voting is so important is, let's say you haven't voted in 8 years and you haven't listened to this segment on the Annie Fry Show, and you go to vote and you're told, oh my gosh, Annie, you can't vote. You're not registered. You know, you haven't voted in 8 years. You were taken off the voter rolls. I'm so sorry you missed the deadline. That's why it is imperative, it is crucial that every person checks their voter registration status really monthly. I even do that for myself just to make sure that I'm registered, active, there's no shenanigans.
Right.
And when you vote early, if there's a problem, you have time to rectify it. You have time to provide a remedy to the problem versus waiting until November 5th when anything can go wrong and you've run out of time once you hit the 8 o'clock.
Earlyvoteaction.com. This is absolutely something, listeners, you ask me all the time, what can we do? This is what you do. You go to earlyvoteaction.com and support Scott Presler. I am also asking you personally to donate to his cause because it will make a real impactful, immediate difference to continue to help Scott in his efforts, specifically in Pennsylvania. It's a big one, and we are so grateful that you're doing what you do and always want to help in any way we can, Scott.
Thank you. And I just want people be positive, be inspired, but more importantly, take action. Do something. Don't just listen to the Annie Fry Show and feel all good. I want you to go to join your Republican Party, become a precinct chair, help knock doors, help write postcards, but just do something, please, to save our country.
Yes.
Please.
Amen. And you are an inspiration to do that. Scott, thank you so much. It's great to have you.
Thanks, Annie.
We'll do it again soon. Thanks. Bye-bye. Scott Presler is the founder and executive director of Early Vote Action, and the website is earlyvoteaction.com. You can download the app right now. I have it on my phone. I've had it on my phone. It's inspiring to watch what he's doing, but it's also, I don't want to say lazy, but you can't just watch what he's doing and be like, good on you, Scott. Let's all be our version locally of Scott Presler. And the number one thing you can do, and he's right to say this, is find your county Republican group. Wherever you are, find your county Republican group. You don't have to commit to something huge. Just get in touch with them. Have a conversation with them. They have the best people. I've worked with so many different county Republican groups, too many to name, and on both sides of the river. And you're wonderful people, and they need your help. So reach out to them. Usually you can find them on Facebook. Send them a Facebook message. Let's take a quick break. Get Ryan Wiggins back in studio. Your results on the YouTube live chat poll. We're getting close to an hour away from giving you the results of this question. How do you see the attempt on Trump's life? Massive system failure or something more conspiratorial? Michael says on YouTube, I spent the last 13 years working for the DOD in some capacity. There is a lot of ineptitude at every level and in every organization. Not inspiring, but also shows that they're pretty much just like the rest of us. Let us know what you think. Leave a comment. Leave your vote. We'll be right back.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
IGotFloor.com, that's the website. If you're shopping for flooring, make sure Michael's Flooring Outlet is on the list of places that you stop before you make the final decision. Michael's is going to work extra hard to earn your business. And I have a feeling that they're going to be able to do that. They've been locally owned and operated here in St. Louis for over 3 decades. And they've done it by working with people just like you, making sure that you get the reliable quality flooring that you expect for your investment, and making sure that your investment is a fair one, that you're getting a great price on that flooring for your home install, maybe for your commercial business install. If you're going from maybe a carpeting in the dental office to something that's like a nice luxury vinyl plank or something like that, you go to Michael's Flooring Outlet. They're going to walk you through all of the options, the easy maintenance, the easy cleanup for both those instances. Home, maybe with the pets or the kids or the grandkids, or at work if you've got, maybe spills possible or just a lot of high traffic. Michael's Flooring Outlet can help you with every one of your solutions that you need to find. St. Charles County, West County, Darting Prairie, online at IGotFloor.com.
Conservative Dave Wassinger is the only pro-Trump Republican running for lieutenant governor. Wassinger is the only candidate endorsed by Missouri Right to Life. And Wassinger is the only candidate for lieutenant governor with the guts to work with Trump to deport illegals. Wassinger's policy on illegal immigration is simple. Come here legally, or it's adios, amigos. Listen to conservative pro-Trump Republican Dave Wassinger.
President Trump is right. Illegals break our laws, steal our jobs, and overwhelm our hospitals. It has to stop. As my lieutenant governor, I'll fight to keep Missouri safe and deport illegals. You come here legally, or it's adios, amigos.
Dave Wassinger, tough on illegal immigration. Dave Wassinger, pro-Trump. Dave Wassinger, pro-life. Vote Dave Wassinger for lieutenant governor. Paid for by Wassinger for Missouri. Henry Charles Poles, treasurer.
Are you ready to shape the future? Missouri is crafting its master plan on aging, and we want to hear from you. Visit health.mo.gov/aging to share your thoughts, ideas, and concerns. We can create a vibrant, inclusive future for all generations.
Have you ever had a wedding reception in your yard or scheduled a party, birthday party or whatever kind of party at your house, and during the party or a couple 3 hours before you notice your air conditioner is not working and it is the hottest day of the year? Or have you come home from a vacation and your house is baking? My experience has been that's when it will break. It just happens that way. So if that does happen to you, or say, again, you don't need to have a party or you don't need to be baked. But if your air conditioner breaks and you need to get the cold air back in your house, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. That is 314-293-2600. Again, the easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.
Biden's open border policies are crushing Missouri. Yet, the Jeff City Swamp is boosting a program subsidizing health care for illegals, the same program behind Planned Parenthood's discount abortion scheme. Thankfully, Iraq War veteran Andrew Bailey is on guard. Like Trump, he's a fighter. As your Attorney General, Andrew Bailey won't stop fighting illegal immigrants and Planned Parenthood. Call 314-340-6816 and thank Andrew Bailey. Stand For Us PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. StandForUs.com.
The subject of today's YouTube live chat poll is the attempt on Trump's life. How do you see it? How do you see the attempt on Trump's life? Massive system failure? Or is it something more conspiratorial? Let us know. And, of course, leave a comment. You type in Annie Fry into YouTube, and the Annie Fry YouTube page will come up where you can vote and leave those comments. 153. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Mark Cox here. I've put together my Missouri voter guide just for you. Visit 971talk.com to see it because the future of our state is happening now. Get my voter guide at 971talk.com and go vote.
Poll for today.
87.
80, I said 86.
Yeah,
I was real close.
you were close.
Why are you
That's
so much
good.
better at Googling than me?
I don't know.
Did you Google naked mannequin pictures?
I did. Naked mannequin
That's-
pictures. It said 1987. Here you go.
That's why I was
I'm like, oh, okay.
Googling
Brian's like,
the
hold on,
wrong
I got to
thing.
take this. It's HR.
They're all bald.
I just put a wig on them.
Oh, okay.
Just rub some sugar cream on their head.
Oh, Lord. That's a callback to earlier in the show.
Get the podcast.
Don't just infer. YouTube live chat poll. How do you see the attempt on Trump's life? Massive system failure or something more conspiratorial? We played a lot of stuff from the hearing today in the first two segments of the show. I talked about it. Brad talked about it a little bit. Ryan?
I am massive system failure. The one.
I'm gonna need,
Sorry.
I'm going to need that clip.
And make it put a little robot effect on it too.
I
am massive system failure. I think that if there is anything conspiratorial that I would entertain, well, I'd entertain anything because I'll hear you. I may not agree with you, but the idea that he might have been groomed by somebody is interesting to me. I would like to explore that a little bit more and see more about that. But right now, I'm saying this is a massive system failure.
You think?
Oh, I think it's a massive system failure. I think it's incompetence all the way around.
I do too. And I'll lean into what Jim Carafano said too, that it's leadership.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that this administration prioritizes the right things ever. I think everything is always political. And I think that the results are this, where the things that were supposed to matter the most weren't the priority ever. So, of course, you get
If you've been injured in a car wreck, you need the best. Let us make your case our cause. Car accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Paid for by Lori Rook from Missouri. Ryan Rook, Treasurer.
You deserve to know where your tax dollars are really going. You deserve to know about the backdoor deals our politicians are making with lobbyists. And you deserve to know when your elected officials are supporting things that compromise your conservative values. But right now, it's all hidden behind the curtain. As your next Missouri State Treasurer, I will publish the full story of our state's spending in one easy-to-use website. Vote for me, Lori Rook, in the August 6th Republican primary, because you deserve to know.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Stewart's American Mortgage and the Bagel Loan. It's a simple phone call or text message away to find out how to maximize the benefit of getting your new mortgage. I know mortgage rates are high, but when you're in a position to need to buy a house, you're going to need a mortgage. And you need Stewie and the Bagel Loan. The Bagel Loan is called the Bagel Loan because bagels look like zeros, which is to remind you that there are zero fees, zero closing costs that you have to pay, when it comes to closing. And then all of a sudden there's like, oh, here's thousands of dollars that I'm on the hook for. Not with the Bagel Loan. Ask him all the questions that you have. Have him explain the whole thing, top, bottom, in, out, left, right. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. When you reach Stewie, tell him Annie sent you and say, I'm interested in a bagel loan. I'm looking to buy a house. I want to be the most competitive. I want the best deal for me. And he's going to go, well, you're in the right place. 314-324-4440. He does refinances as well. You can Google the Bagel Loan for more information. 314-324-4440 and MLS number 226715.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Escalation in the Middle East. Lisa Brady, Fox News, raising more concern about a wider war.
So we do not believe that an all-out war is inevitable. That is not something that we believe, and we believe that it can still be avoided.
White House spokeswoman Karine Jean-Pierre after the weekend rocket attack that killed 12 children and teens in the Golan Heights. Israel responding today with an airstrike in Beirut, targeting a Hezbollah commander.
According to initial reports, Fouad Shukar was the man the Israelis were trying to target in this strike in the suburbs of the Lebanese capital of Beirut. There was a large explosion earlier tonight. Initial reporting indicated they targeted the Hezbollah stronghold on the southern part of the city.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. The U.S. State Department has a $5 million bounty on Shukar for his role in a deadly 1983 Marine barracks bombing in Beirut. Hamas is condemning today's airstrike in Lebanon, calling it a dangerous escalation. The new head of the Secret Service, Acting Director Ronald Rowe, faces lawmakers at a Senate hearing on the Trump assassination attempt.
Rowe says he is ashamed. He says it's indefensible that the roof was unprotected and exposed. The shooter, Thomas Crooks, was first flagged as a suspicious person an hour before he fired his first shot at former President Trump.
Fox Business' Hillary Vaughn on Capitol Hill. Rowe says there were multiple security failures, but that as the investigation continues, he won't rush to judgment on firing anyone, also denying that politics plays any role in security decisions. Redemption for Team USA and Simone Biles, who has just led the women's gymnastics team back to gold at the Paris Olympics 3 years after pulling out of the team event in Tokyo, where the U.S. won silver behind Russian gymnasts. Biles now has more Olympic medals than any other American gymnast, 8 so far in 3 games. America is listening to Fox News.
You've got a Pepto predicament, Beach Bum.
Hey, we're heading down to the beach. You coming?
Yeah, Dad. You coming?
I had a little too much to eat at the resort buffet. I need a minute. Oh, you overdid it. And now your beach vacation is giving you belly waves. Undo it with Pepto.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Pepto Chewables provide fast 5-symptom relief so you can get back to making memories.
Let's go, Dad!
When you overdo it, undo it with Pepto. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Hi, I'm Angie Hicks, co-founder of Angie, and one thing I've learned is that you buy a house, but you make it a home. Because with every fix, update, and renovation, it becomes a little more your own. So you need all your jobs done well. For nearly 30 years, Angie has helped millions of homeowners hire skilled pros for the projects that matter. From plumbing to electrical, roof repair to deck upgrades. So leave it to the pros who will get your jobs done well. Hire high-quality certified pros at Angie.com.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
The official 97.1 FM Talk Weather Center forecast: an excessive heat warning in effect through 7 p.m. Thursday. Partly cloudy and warm tonight. A drenching thunderstorm, flash flooding and damaging winds possible, low 79. A thunderstorm in the area early tomorrow morning, otherwise very hot with intervals of clouds and sun. We'll see a high tomorrow of 99. Thursday, hot, variable cloudiness, a heavy afternoon thunderstorm, high 97. I'm Drew Shannon for 97.1 FM Talk.
On August 6th, vote Conservative Republican Mike Archer for County Council. Mike Archer supports law enforcement and has earned the endorsement of the St. Louis County Police Officers Association. Mike Archer, a small business owner, will cut red tape and support local businesses so they can thrive. He believes in fiscal responsibility and lower taxes. Mike stands for our Second Amendment rights, defending our families and our homes. It's time for change in St. Louis County. On August 6th, vote Conservative Republican Mike Archer for County Council.
I'm Mike Archer, and I approve this message paid for by Archer for County Council, James Murphy, Treasurer.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6986. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6986. That's 800-575-6986. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
Missouri, it's time to vote. The Missouri primary is August 6th, and early voting is happening now. Make your voice heard. Cast your vote in the Missouri primary. Democracy 2024. It's happening now on 97.1 FM Talk.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
And that happens at the same time as the myths around America that we grew up with, that we as men are expected to be protectors and providers, are going out into an economy that doesn't really allow for that, especially for working class folks. And sort of like compounding on that, masculinity as a trope has been co-opted by the MAGA right into something that feeds into and exacerbates the loneliness epidemic, as well as the mental health crisis that many face that end up leading to really destructive behaviors. We aren't the only ones that are hurt by these things. Black and brown people, LGBTQIA plus people, especially trans women and indigenous people, and all sorts of other folks in our society who've been historically and often still today are marginalized and being hurt, demonized, and marginalized even further.
Take it from here, white dudes.
We are sorry about what we've done. Clearly, we have ruined this country.
Yeah.
And
what have white dudes done for this country anyway? I mean, there's a lot. What have white dudes contributed? I mean, really?
Well, recently,
to where we are right now.
All we cause is loneliness. We know that you guys hate loneliness, and so we're like, Let's make them all lonely.
And what do you mean by you guys?
You as a woman.
Guys? Did you just misgender me?
Yes. Again, I'll lead with, I apologize.
Don't say people. That'll get you in trouble, too.
I won't say you people. You all. Y'all.
Y'all.
Did you miss geographic me? Does this
Again,
look like the South to you?
I apologize.
Mm-hmm.
This is our fault. But I will say that in our struggle for power, one of the things that we love.
So you admit that you're struggling for power.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. We struggle for power, and we want to keep it. We've always been at the top of the hierarchy, and we do not want to move.
So you admit that you think you're better than us people.
We don't just think it. However, we have to, we know our place now, so we always lead with, we apologize for what we've done. However, and then we just kind of launch into our plans.
White dude number 2, do you apologize?
No.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
We always do. We
Apologize
talked about
for
this
what?
before the show.
Apologize for what?
Apologize for your heteronormity.
To apologize, and what this guy's talking about, you have to basically assume that the United States is not a good country, that there's nothing redeemable about it, and that's
dude,
a bunch.
Number 1?
I agree. I concur.
That's a bunch of horse pucky.
With whom?
All of it. You have to see, this is the thing. It's a strategy. You have to lead with, we know that you're right. This has been a problem. We don't really know what we're talking about when we say that. But if we say it, it sounds like we're coming from a place of understanding. Then we go into all the things that we're trying to do.
So you admit that you're just feigning that you're understanding. You're just trying to get moved on.
Yes, and we're very sorry about that. We're trying our best here.
You know, the least you could do for the show is infiltrate one of these meetings. And just, Ryan,
You know what?
Ryan, just be you.
This would be amazing.
Do it!
We talked yesterday,
What, yeah.
Brad and I, before the show, we're talking about getting on the White Dudes for Kamala call.
Yes!
But
How are they going to
I think you have to
exclude
pay. I think you had to pay to get on it, didn't you?
How much?
It was
I
a
don't know.
fundraiser.
How much?
I mean, yeah,
We
Andy
didn't
would have
look.
reimbursed you.
We're sorry. We didn't look. See how this works? It's great.
Oh, I know how it works. The conflict I'm having is in whether or not you are doing parody right now or not.
I'm not sure.
I don't either. I don't know.
Just kidding, I'm sorry.
I mean,
Yeah,
I
I
assumed to be on the call, it's a donation to the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to weigh that. But maybe we could get a donation from Scooter.
Yeah. I'm sure he would love us disrupting a Kamala Harris fundraiser.
He's going to alert the masses right now.
The problem is not the whatever, $50, $100, whatever it takes to get on the call. The problem is then they have your phone number.
Oh, they've got mine.
And you will never hear the end of it.
Who's Tim Daly?
Tim Daly, he was the actor who played the first husband on Madam President.
What's that?
Or Madam Secretary.
Wasn't he on Wings?
He might have been.
He was the main. There were
Wings,
two brothers.
1990, 1997, yes.
I liked that show, and I liked Tim Daly. Please don't
Wings?
tell me you have a clip of him saying something.
You don't have to not like Tim Daly as an actor because he's an idiot as a political voice.
A couple things I want to say. One is that the reason that I am so excited about Kamala Harris is that she is intelligent, she has grit, she's funny, she's experienced. She's dedicated to making a system that works for everyone. She's got tenacity, and she happens to be a woman, which is in some ways the least important part because all those other qualities make her more qualified than pretty much any candidate for president we've ever had. But it is time to have a woman because that sensibility is something we've never experienced, and the experience of the white dudes has not always gone so well for us in that office.
Now is the time for Trump to identify as a woman. So he can be our first female president.
That would be incredible.
Why wouldn't he do that?
I don't know
Does
why.
that not sound like something that he would say at a rally? I identify as a woman and officially declare myself the first female president of the United States.
Wait, can you post-declare? Can he declare he
You
was
can
a
do
woman
whatever
then?
the hell you want today.
Oh, yeah.
Because I would think now, after not having said it at all during his 4 years, he would only be projecting forward. So I don't know if you can change the past.
Well, he could campaign to be the first woman president of the
See, I
United
think
States.
he should. I think you should do that. He and J.D. Vance. His whole cabinet should do it.
The first woman person of orange color.
Every single guy. I'm
Which he's
talking
already
Mike
been,
Pompeo.
but not as a female.
I'm talking Peter Navarro. All of them should say that they're women now. And all the women should say they're men.
You know, you can hear Trump saying that. And if he were to say it, it would be the headline on MSNBC for at least a week, probably the rest of the campaign. And it would be about how he was disrespecting women, but they also don't know what a woman is.
Oh, that would be so great.
He would do that because he feels like I can, and he thinks it's funny, and there he goes.
He should do it. I think he listens.
I shouldn't have said it out loud.
I think he listens to the show. I know
Yeah.
J.D. Vance listens.
Yeah, big Midwest.
Yeah, because we're Midwest.
Yeah.
Hillbilly Elegy. They wrote a Netflix about all of us.
Have you seen it?
No.
Have you seen it?
No, I'm trying to see it.
What is it like in the
It's
back
on
room now?
It's on Netflix, and I don't have Netflix.
Same.
So
I have Netflix and I haven't watched it.
You have no excuse.
Was it made by Ron Howard? This was like a major movie, and I never heard about it until he was announced as
it's a
VP.
major award-winning movie.
Yeah, crazy.
The left loved him.
That's what I understand.
Trump too.
Mm-hmm.
Very true.
Guess we've.
Well, the thing that I've determined from this is that, first of all, Tim Daly had most of what he was saying right. He did it mostly right, but he got to lead with, first of all, I apologize. And he didn't do that.
He didn't apologize for anything. Here's Frodo, or somebody who knows.
The idea that
Frodo,
that men can gather to talk about how we feel.
Man, it's like totally unfair to throw Elijah Wood into this, but that dude feels.
Here's Frodo.
That dude has feelings, and it is. I can't handle it. He's got eyes like a wolf.
Wait, what?
I'm talking about Elijah Wood. Totally collateral damage in Sean Astin coming out and being a white dude for Trump, or no, for Kamala. But Frodo, isn't Elijah Wood Frodo?
Yep, Elijah Wood's Frodo.
Yeah,
and he's a
Hobbit.
Does he not cry during that whole movie? And he's got the biggest
He always
ice blue eyes.
I think they watered his eyes throughout the movie because he always looks sympathetic.
It should be. It's not fair.
Yeah.
Let's stick to Rudy here.
Flower pot guy.
Interesting, powerful concept. And to include all
Does he sound like he doesn't even believe what he's saying?
It sounds like he's speaking in fragmented words.
He's the way he's going about this. I'm like,
and then change.
Blink twice, dude, if you need help.
the idea that men can gather to talk about how we feel. Interesting.
He's got like 6 white liberal cat ladies behind him going, say it. You say it right now. You say it just like we practiced. Just like we rehearsed. Come on, Rudy, you can do it.
Interesting. Bubblegum.
Powerful concept.
Dates.
And to include all, we said in our invitation, everyone is welcome. That's a really interesting phrase. Everyone is welcome.
Is the call breaking up?
You might hear it in other places. I'm pretty sure you can feel that it's true here with this particular political party and this particular candidate.
Make that an ad. Everybody be like, wow, never thought of it that way.
Goonies
I
never
could
die.
Talk about my feelings. He wasn't a Goonie.
Yeah, he was.
He's like the lead character.
He was
Elijah Wood?
No,
Sean Astin.
Oh,
keep
see,
up
you guys
with the show that
confused
you're.
me.
Yeah, we know.
I thought that was Elijah Wood the whole time.
No.
You said Frodo.
Elijah Wood would have had tears in that delivery.
Yeah, he was
He would have had
Samwise.
emotion. Yes.
All right, I'm caught up now.
I said the Elijah Wood conversation wasn't fair because this isn't about him. This is
Okay.
about his troll friend.
Trolls guard bridges. Hobbits go on adventures.
I bet you they went over a bridge.
And they did.
They eat a lot.
They eat a lot of food.
Are you a troll?
I don't know, maybe. I
Or
have
a
kind
hobbit?
of big feet. And I do cross the bridge every day to get here.
So far, we've established I'm a troll and Ryan's a hobbit.
No. I'm talking about troll things. Trolls guard bridges. That's the only thing I know about them.
You said you had big, hairy feet, which means you're a hobbit.
Oh. I think both of them must have that then.
Vicky thought it was Elijah Wood, too. Vicky.
Thank you, Vicky.
We don't need to know that. You don't need to tell Ryan that.
Get on the stream and agree with me more, just in general. Everybody who's listening.
I disagree. I'm going to get on the stream to disagree with you. I don't listen to these white dudes for Kamala. See, it's like they don't know how to do it. I think they're like, kind of too many white dudes in this room for me to feel comfortable right now. Isn't it kind of a punitive place to be? Like, as a white male voter that is voting for the left, isn't your sole responsibility to show up on election day and vote for the person on the left, on the Democrat ticket, and to shut up otherwise?
Define punitive.
Like in life or in this?
No, I don't know what the word means.
Punishing?
I looked it up. Yes, it is apparently in punish. Okay, so it's like a self-punishment.
Don't sound surprised.
Oh, I just looked it up.
Yes, it is, and I quote, apparently.
Inflicting, involving, or aiming at punishment.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so self-punishment would be you have to show up, shut up, and vote for Democrats to show that you have acknowledged your place in this world.
As a penance.
Okay.
I'm surprised and not surprised that you didn't pull any of the clips of this woman.
Oh, man.
Who has a TikTok account where apparently her influencer thing is to talk to people like they're kindergartners. And I know that it's a shtick, but apparently she's had some success with this. And it makes me want to jump off bridges.
Don't do that. I need to get my toll.
Your
That's how I make a living.
Your toll will be over in this chair.
I always refer to toll booth workers as trolls because I just assume.
That's really nice of you. I'm sure they appreciate that.
There you go, troll.
Have you heard this influencer?
No.
Have you heard her?
I think so.
It's terrible. How do these people attract votes? How do people go, oh, I want more of that? The only way to do that is to sell unquenchable guilt. Is to make people, I mean, I don't know. The fact that you would be white dudes for Kamala, then you are predefining yourself in that conversation by your skin color and by your gender or whatever that is these days to those people. They've made white men the premier enemy of the left. Like that is a foundational pillar of what you have to understand if you want to be a part of the cultural, social left. You got to know your role.
And first of all, we're sorry. But second, we have to understand, men, that the minute you start to give into that, and this really can apply to a lot of things, you're never going to quench it.
Mm-mm.
You never get to a point where you go, well, you've paid your due. It's the minute you give an inch, you're going to go, oh, we got them to move a little bit, and it just keeps pushing.
You'll be
it never
asked
ends.
over and over and over to prove it, which is why we have to virtue signal.
Yes.
Just to remind everybody, I'm still with you. I'm still on the right side. And anybody who's not showing their 15 pieces of flair of leftist guilt on their sleeve or in their yard. I mean, the hate has no home here sign is the most offensive thing to me in the world, simply because the implication is that it must be identified in order for it to be true. And I just don't know that many people to be that hateful. And as we've said before, if the implementation of diversity, equity, and inclusion as a policy is so necessary, then what you're saying is that without that policy, the people who are in charge of institutions and organizations and corporations and whatever are incapable of assessing the opportunities in front of them and choosing what is best for the growth of that company. They're incapable of seeing somebody who isn't essentially a white male, how that person can be for the better for that company, that they will inherently intuitively, instinctively not look at someone who's not a white male in spite of what that person would do for their company. That you have to own that is intrinsic in all of us, that we would, if you're white, simply because you were born with white skin, you would overlook somebody simply because their skin isn't white. And I don't think in capitalistic corporate America that is inherently true. If it can be proven that it is true, those people should be held to account. But you can't apply that sort of hateful, racist behavior to people to say, in hiring practices, the most important thing that I need you to consider is skin color, because that's what DEI does. It's a reverse racism that is forced upon corporations, things. People pick on Tractor Supply has been out there, John Deere has been out there, many other places who have implemented DEI policies, and internet sleuths and independent journalists are going and finding these places out and exposing it. And some people are like, whoa, sorry, yes, you're right, getting rid of that. That's not what our clientele wants. Other people double down. But the implementation of a policy like that is an admission that the people at the top can't effectively put people into place that don't look like white men without a policy that says, well, I got to pick that person.
Yeah.
That's racist.
Yeah, it also implies that only white men are in positions to make important decisions in cultural monumental places like education, universities, government, entertainment, Hollywood. Well, guess who runs all of those institutions? Well, it's all leftists. So if those institutions, and not that every institution in America is leftist, but those are major ones, and they are the ones that implement DEI the most. So you're implying that nobody that runs these institutions already ever was anything but a white man, and those are your institutions. It's so backward.
Yeah, 100%. Let's take a quick break. The YouTube live chat poll, we've got over 250 votes right now, and it is very close on this question. How do you see the attempt on Trump's life? A massive system failure or something more conspiratorial? If you go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, we're broadcasting live right now in the live chat of today's live broadcast. You can see this poll and you can vote in it. You can also go to AnnieFryShow.com to check on the live broadcast of the current show at any given time you want. AnnieFryShow.com. Quick break. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Never thought I would find someone so elegant, intelligent. Heaven sent, all my money spent. I put a big down payment on that itty-bitty diamond ring.
STS-armory.com. That's the website, STS-armory.com. I want to encourage you to consider taking one of their classes in Illinois if you are interested in acquiring your conceal and carry, renewing your conceal and carry, which I'm going to have to do here in the fall. If you are interested in becoming more advanced at your ability to handle your gun or to holster your gun or to draw from concealment, these are all things at STS Armory that they can help you learn. Wonderful instructors. I have personal friends and family who have gone to these classes and they rave about them. If you're looking to make a purchase as well, whether it's a firearm itself or a holster, ammunition, accessories, safes, other types of accessories for smart, responsible firearm ownership, STS Armory is the place to go. They're located on South Drive in Pontoon Beach, Illinois. It's at the corner of Highway 111 and South Drive, and they're a phone call away. 618-931-GUNS. 618-931-GUNS. Reach out to STS Armory and start your conversation today. You'll be glad you did. Katie and Jesse, tell them I said hi. STS-armory.com.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Can Missouri Republicans trust Bill Eigel? President Trump doesn't. President Trump criticized Eigel for deceiving voters by using his image in campaign ads. Trump even threatened legal action against Eigel. Why does President Trump oppose Bill Eigel? It's because Eigel's campaign is bankrolled by the same rich liberals who are funding ads that attack Trump's record and character. Bill Eigel is a dishonest politician who is bought and paid for by never-Trumpers. There's a better choice. Conservative Republican Mike Kehoe is a businessman and job creator. Kehoe has a bold plan to provide relief to Missouri families who are getting crushed by Biden's inflation. As our governor, Mike Kehoe will eliminate the state income tax to put more money back in your pocket. Mike Kehoe is the conservative Republican we can trust.
Cops for Kehoe is responsible for the content of this advertising, paid for by Cops for Kehoe, and is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
I'm sitting here checking the weather coming up this week. Looks like high 60s as low and 80 to mid 80s as a high. So if you are putting your air conditioner in because of the heat and you didn't want your house to get so warm while the process is going on, this will be the best time to have that done and have your air conditioner put in and get ready for the heat wave that we get here in St. Louis. Or if you haven't had your air conditioning checked, or you noticed that it wasn't cooling as good as you expected, or you wanted, or you need it, call me. It's Bart Inman, one easy number, Illinois and Missouri. The easiest number, 314-293-2600. It's Bart Inman, 314-293-2600, or the internet, bartinman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
During the COVID years, I was very disappointed by weak leadership dictating COVID tyranny and ridiculous, nonsensical rules. We had lost over 300,000 school days in St. Charles County that the children will never get back. The closing of businesses and mandates were unconstitutional and complete government overreach. I will always fight for your constitutional rights and your God-given freedoms and liberty. I'm Joe Brazel, and I'm running for St. Charles County Council District 2. Vote August 6th. Thank you, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Citizens for Joe Brazel, Mike Summers, Treasurer.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. News that's on time. On your time. Download the Odyssey app and dip in whenever you want. And stay on top of what's happening. 97.1 FM Talk on the Odyssey app.
Quick Rick says it must sounds like the Raspberries.
You should hear the part where I do the.
I don't know what really is the delineation of that sounds ridiculous and that's genius.
I don't know. This song does that too because the choices they make in this song are very strange and they worked.
It's a great song,
It's a
man.
great song.
If I'm driving by myself in my car and this song comes on and I drive past you, you're going to see I'm feeling it.
Oh, yeah?
Or if you drive past me, but not many people do that.
I do that with Who Let the Dogs Out. Oh, yeah.
Just sounds like your kids are tickling you.
I can't. This is.
No, in my mind, I can hit every one of those notes in the car, though. I bet you can too.
Oh yeah, in the bathroom. Not in the shower. when I'm on the toilet.
Donald Trump endorsed Missouri.
That was
Essentially,
great job for him, yeah.
His comment about the Missouri governor's race is like, they're all great. You got it, Missouri. And then, naturally, all the candidates, he just listed 3. I asked. I never really spoke much about moderating that debate because I hightailed it out into Florida. I asked at the debate if they would endorse, if they would support the other candidates that were in the race should they not get the nomination. And that's when Jay Ashcroft dropped I wouldn't endorse the guy who supports the KKK and he's not here. And I was like, what?
Oh.
I didn't know of this guy, which is on me. It was a mistake on me. It wasn't Kehoe, which was kind of, I asked a follow-up question. I don't think Secretary Ashcroft appreciated my follow-up question, but I felt like it was my responsibility to clarify that he wasn't talking about Kehoe. Ashcroft said he would not name the candidate, but that the candidate wasn't there. Because when he said he basically said that he would support. I think that he ended up saying he'd support the people that were in the room.
Yeah.
But that he would not support the candidate that wasn't there, that was like an active participant in the KKK. And I wanted to go onto my phone and be like, hold on a second, so I could find a sound effect of a record scratch.
That's not the answer I was expecting.
No, it's a different candidate.
The answer I was expecting from that question would be, well, yeah, but I'm going to win. Usually that's what they do.
Well, sure.
Well, but I'm going to win, so I'm not worried about that.
I prefaced the question was like, you don't win the primary, will you, blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, there's a way that you answer that question. It's diplomatic, so on and so forth. I kind of expected that. You know, you ask a question. I have a pretty good idea of what any candidate is going to say, or how I'm pretty good at giving political responses, you know, like that. You ask me a question, here's what I would say. And I didn't have KKK on my response bingo card.
No, the way that I would answer that question, if somebody said, would you support the other candidate? I'd say, look. And I'd just say anything I wanted.
Let me be clear.
Let me be clear. We've been clear on this.
The idea.
And then I'd talk about the Missouri budget problems. He'd be like, that is not what I asked you. I'd say, look.
So when Trump did give his endorsement, he named Ashcroft, Kehoe, and Eigel. And it was like, Missouri, you got a lot of good options. You choose. Good move or bad move?
For Trump?
For Trump.
Great move. He is going to, I think what Trump is doing right now, I like it actually. He is trying to figure out how to govern. I want him to win the election. We all want him to focus on winning the election. Don't get me wrong. But he is focused a lot more than I would be at that stage on how he's going to govern as president. And he is trying to form a lot of relationships, things that maybe he didn't do as well in his first term that he's doing better this time.
He doesn't need to endorse any of these candidates. Trump doesn't need it. They might need it to get them across the finish line. I have no idea how that race is going to shake out. I'm very interested in it. As we have said a million times, the three of us in here, we live in Illinois. We'll take whoever Missouri says is in second place, third place. We don't want the KKK guy.
We don't want that guy, but we will take third place.
But to look at the people who are vying for the position to be the governor of your state, I get it. You all have strong opinions on why this, not that. I understand that. Completely respect it. I wouldn't say that it looks like the grass is greener. The grass is brown in the state of Illinois when it comes to statewide races. And it's very disappointing. And once again, in Missouri, the Missouri political problems are too many Republicans that can't get along. Just looking for Republicans. I'd take whatever I could get.
I would say those are good problems. They are when you're in Illinois.
Yeah.
If you're in Missouri, it is pretty annoying. You elect all these conservative, quote unquote, conservative Republicans.
It's like a facepalm.
And you're like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
But again, problems we would take in Illinois.
But the thing about it is, you look at the Republicans, and they within the party there is a difference of opinion, and people have different ideas in governing. Illinois has the exact opposite. They have Democrats in massive power, supermajority, control of every statewide office, and they're all in lockstep no matter how radical, whatever it is they want to do. They're not allowed to have any differences.
G-Whip says the grass is green in Illinois. There's a lot of fertilizer over here.
There is. Yeah, there is. And I think about that every time I wake up in the morning in the middle of the night and I need to go.
Go home.
One of those days without a filter, isn't it?
Go home.
Yeah, I should.
Go home.
I should, because I was going to take it even further. I thought, no, it's the Annie Fry Show.
Take a break. You do that on the Mark
will.
Cox Show on Fridays. Did he talk to you about your comment about
No, he must have missed it.
hitting on him on Friday mornings?
No, I didn't. I didn't
Okay.
see him since then.
Go vote in our YouTube live chat poll. How do you see the attempt on Trump's life? Was it a massive system failure or something more conspiratorial? You can go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, and we're broadcasting live there. Hello to everybody who's watching. In the live chat of today's live broadcast, you can vote there. And it's very close. Massive system failure, something more conspiratorial. We'll recap what we think, and we will give you the results of what you think. Before we wrap up the show, when we come back, don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter @AnnieFryShow.
The Retirement Advisory Group and Thomas Helbig, Bob and Tammy Kershaw, and myself, we want to invite you Tuesday, August 6th, to come join us at the Frontenac Hilton at 6:30 p.m. It's a wonderful free event. It does not take up your whole evening, so it's a brief amount of time. He usually maybe talks for a total of 45 minutes. It's not long. And it's a way for you to learn about what you need to do when you're leaving working and going into retirement, or if you have just recently retired, this can apply to you as well. Again, it's free. But I do want you to reserve your spot because the room will fill up. 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494. Call, reserve your spot. Tell them the Annie Fry Show alerted you to this, and they'll know exactly what you're talking about. And join me. I'll get there at about 6 o'clock. I'm there until about 6:30 p.m., and then we hand it over to the Retirement Advisory Group folks so they can have your attention and help you make that shift into retirement and know what you need to do. Mark Cox will be there. Mark Reardon will be there. I'll be there. We get there from 6, and we're there to shake hands and have the opportunity to meet you until 6:30. So if you want to meet us, come early, but make sure you reserve your spot. 314-993-9494. Find them online at retirementkey.com.
As a conservative state representative, Adam Schnelting has a track record of protecting kids and fighting the swamp. For more information on the only candidate for State Senate District 23, endorsed by Missouri Right to Life and the NRA, visit adamformo.com. Vote Adam Schnelting on August 6th.
Protect Our Kids PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising. Paid for by Protect Our Kids PAC. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Considering new windows, I want you to talk to my friends at Window World. Mark Cox here. They have got a great deal going for you right now. Up to 36 months financing, interest-free, with approved credit. They've never done this before at Window World, so take advantage of this. Call them today at 314-993-1800. Again, 314-993-1800. You hear me talk about Window World. I'm a satisfied customer. I've got their windows in my house. I've been to their offices and I've stood on these windows. I've seen how well built they are. They go in and they are meant to last. You wouldn't give a lifetime warranty on a product if you didn't think it was going to last for a long time, and they stand behind that warranty. In over 20 years of business, they have helped more than 72,000 customers in St. Louis improve the look and the thermal efficiency of their home. Call them today, get your free estimate, and ask about that 36-month financing, 314-993-1800. or windowworld.com.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun. Always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections? facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. If your trees are looking sick or if you have insects that aren't welcome in your landscape, Hansen's can help. Our plant health care program offers tree and shrub fertilization as well as pest management to maintain a great-looking landscape. Check us out at hansenstree.com.
Drugs, illegal immigration, crime. There's no law and order, and a crisis at the border. That's the Joe Biden record. But here in Jefferson County, Sheriff Dave Marshak isn't having any of it. Unlike the hug-a-thug policies of St. Louis, in Jefferson County, Dave Marshak puts criminals behind bars, where they belong. Instead of allowing the insane to fund the police movement to win, he's hiring more cops with better pay and actually backing the blue. Illegal immigrants and cartel drugs? Not in Jeffco, amigo. Sheriff Dave Marshak's plan is simple, and it's working. In Jefferson County, crime is down, and Jeffco families are safe.
I'm Sheriff Dave Marshak. Unlike Joe Biden as your Jefferson County Sheriff, we're putting more cops on the street. We're enforcing the law and punishing criminals, and we're sending Mexican drugs back where they belong. On August 6th, vote Sheriff Dave Marshak for Jefferson County Sheriff to keep Jefferson County safe.
Paid for by Dave Marshak Election Committee. Mike Pruno, Treasurer.
How do you see the attempt on Trump's life? Is it a massive system failure, or is it something more conspiratorial? We're going to it's been a close poll. We're going to give you the results of that poll here in just a couple minutes, so you can vote still between now and about 2:55. It is 2:44. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon getting ready for a Tuesday show just after Fox News at 3. The new Secret Service director, the same as the old Secret Service director. He was grilled on Capitol Hill today. Not a lot of answers. Senator Hawley went at him really, really hard. We'll have the very latest. It's all coming up.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Sometimes it's important to hear something differently so that you can really understand it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, walk a mile in somebody's shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how you said that.
Yeah.
So we're going to do that now.
Oh.
And I'm going to put something up here on the screen. I'm going to make sure that you can read that okay. Can you read that okay?
Yeah.
This is Kamala Harris, but you're going to do it.
Behold, Ryan's spot-on imitation of Annie Fry. Please hold your applause.
A Kamala Harris reading.
This is Kamala?
Yeah, I think she's... Well, we'll just listen and find out what she's talking
Kamala as read by you, impersonated by me. You
This is your impression
may
of me.
not know the difference between when Annie speaks and when I do my Annie impersonation. Okay. I am meeting with a lot of folks. And the work we've begun is work that we're going to be ongoing. There is no question. And I said this from the beginning, that our approach to this issue has to be with a commitment to the long-term investment and has to be a commitment to consistency. The United States has to be consistent.
Well, there's one thing consistent here.
There were times when more engaged, we were more, no, it wasn't we, okay. There were times when we're more engaged and we saw good results, less engaged, and we could see where the partnerships went deteriorate. So I am committed to ensuring that we engage in an active way on the root causes, on addressing the cause and effect, and also being partners in the Western Hemisphere, uniting, understanding that we have a responsibility, and if we ignore that responsibility, it will visit itself upon us in a very domestic way.
That's like if Abraham Lincoln was a trucker. Which might be the most flattering thing that someone could say about me.
I didn't see the word unburdened in there.
No, but now that it's done, I feel unburdened.
It's hard to understand what's happening. She does over-explain everything, doesn't she?
No, she doesn't explain anything.
Well, she never really says anything, but when she's trying to explain a very simple concept, she kind of goes all around it like a toilet bowl.
Yeah, let's listen into her here.
With a lot of folks, and the work that we have begun is the work that is going to be ongoing. There is no question, and I said this from the very beginning, that our approach to this issue has to be with a commitment to a long-term investment, and it has to be a commitment to consistency. The United States has to be consistent. There were times when we were more engaged, and we saw good results. Less engaged, and we can see where the work and the partnerships then deteriorate. So I am committed to ensuring that we engage in an active way on the root causes, on addressing the cause and effect, and also being partners in the Western Hemisphere, understanding that we have a responsibility, and if we ignore that responsibility, it will visit itself upon us in a very domestic way.
Mayorkas is standing back there going, sure. Whatever you say.
Was the point of that we need to engage more?
The comments below on Twitter are like, what is she actually talking about? And Libby Emmons, who tweeted this out originally, she said, I believe she believes she's talking about immigration.
Really? Okay.
Oh, man, I just don't think that the people who need to go, all right, I'm all in on this, the people who are a little disenfranchised, disenchanted with the way this current administration, which she is part of, she is not a departure of the Biden administration. She might actually have been the most effective member of the administration to be able to get things done that were, part of the initial purpose of that administration. Because I don't think Joe Biden was doing much.
No. It's weird because you don't see a lot of people. You see some Democrats kind of getting a little more excited about her. So I think you may see a little bit more of a turnout, which matters. I'm not saying it doesn't, but you definitely don't see the kind of purple state, swing state people going, oh, okay, now I'm going to move from Trump to this, whatever this is.
You see those posts on Twitter? It's like, I was on vacation driving through Iowa, and I stopped at an old truck stop, and there were 6 old white farmers sitting around drinking their drinks out of mason jars, and they're like, you know what? I think it's time for a woman to be president. It's like nobody's saying that.
I have seen posts like that.
No one is doing that.
Yeah.
Or the one where it's like there's something crazy that happens on the news, and they explain, like my 6-year-old looks at me and says,
yes.
Daddy, is the bad man going to be president again?
What was it like before a female led the nation?
Yeah.
Well, those were dark times, son. Those are great.
A lot of doing, not a lot of thinking. I mean, they're absurd. And when, like, I do really believe that we live in such separate realities that they don't understand how absurd it looks to us. And of course, there are things that the right does that just, it looks like a foreign language or like another worldly existence where people, I truly believe that people would look at, I don't know if my life, what am I, a white suburban Christian woman who is going to and has twice voted for Trump? I guess they just think I'm brainwashed. I'm either brainwashed or like a Nazi sympathizer. Those are the options.
Yeah.
There's no room when you get to the other side of the aisle, and I'm not talking about your uncle at the Thanksgiving dining room table that has always voted Democrat and probably still is, whatever. I'm talking about like the people who are in the system. There's no room for me to assess my life and what I need out of my country, what I can give to my country, and what I want from my government and what I need from my government. There's no way that I am capable of assessing that for myself and having it be different from what they're like. Obviously, like they truly believe if I were to vote for Donald Trump, I'm voting against my own interests. How do you, I mean, is it even possible to crack that? It's not a misunderstanding. It's just a complete and total lack of understanding.
Yeah, it's a completely different worldview. So you almost have to start. You can't really start at politics at that point. You have to have a much bigger conversation about what's important to you, what do you believe, the foundational stuff, because that's all built on that. There's a guy on the weekend that does a great show. His name's Ryan Wiggins. But aside from that, I just wanted to make that point and put that aside for a second. There's another guy named Josh Hammer that we air on the weekends, and he has a really good show. He actually every time I tune in and I hear him, sounds like, I'd have to look it up again. He sounds like Ben Shapiro. He talks real fast. He's real quick. He does a lot of numbers. He was talking about the Kamala Harris stuff too.
Like songs?
Yeah. Does a lot of numbers. Yeah. Gene Kelly stuff.
Yeah. On the radio. It's fantastic. Yeah. He's a great dancer.
Sharks versus the Jets.
You'd have to see it to believe it.
He just brings it.
Take our word for it.
He does a lot. He dives into a lot of polling stuff too. And he was talking about how it looks to him like Kamala Harris has a better chance at a very narrow victory, but also a bigger chance at a blowout victory.
Mm-hmm.
So
I believe that. If this is the honeymoon bump, it isn't very big. I mean, it's not taking over Donald Trump in all of the swing states, but it's flirting with, more. She has more victory territory than Biden did. And I guess Biden just is going to sit in the background and make wild old man suggestions from his porch like, we should get rid of the Supreme Court. No, we said we need you to be less old man. Keep those thoughts inside, sir. I really wonder if when he threw that out there, if it is helpful or hurtful.
I don't think it helps anything.
Politically for the left.
Yeah, talking about big transformational change at this stage is a bad idea. You don't do that. You do it in 2022 like they were trying to pack the court in 21 out of state.
That's the sort of thing that energizes his base, and if that's what they're trying to do at this point, they're in real trouble.
They are in trouble, yeah.
YouTube live chat poll for today. How do you see the attempt on Trump's life? Massive system failure or something more conspiratorial? Ryan?
I think it is a massive system failure.
Brad?
Massive system failure.
I'm going to say massive system failure.
Dang.
So that I am the most massive here.
I'm going to say you are the most. Okay.
Disagree. Where are you boys?
No, you're the most.
Do the manly thing. Say something nice
about me.
You are
absolutely not the most massive person here.
Ryan?
I disagree.
What a jerk. 286 votes in. 58% of you said something more conspiratorial.
Ooh. All right.
Almost half and half. A little bit more to the conspiratorial thing. We will get more information, and we will bring it to you the second it comes out. Keep it here on 97.1 FM Talk for Mark Reardon. He's up next.
Here's Brooke Burke for Skechers' new Workout Walker footwear.
Do you know the world's #1 most popular form of exercise? It's walking. So you'd think that there would be tons of performance sneakers specifically made for walking, but there aren't. However, one company has you covered, Skechers, the comfort technology company, with their newest performance walking sneaker, Skechers Workout Walker. And it takes walking footwear to new heights. Because Skechers Workout Walker is fully loaded with all the technology you need to get the most out of your walk. It starts with a carbon-infused plate in the sole to add more spring to your step. Plus, it has Skechers Hyper Burst foam for unbelievable cushion with incredible bounce. Plus, workout walkers feature Goodyear rubber for enhanced traction and durability, and Arch Fit insoles with podiatrist-certified arch support for amazing comfort step after step. Make your walking workout more comfortable than ever with Skechers' new workout walker. Find them for men and women at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
Point Pest Control. If you are interested in getting Point Pest Control out to your house to get rid of the pests in your home, make sure you call 636-798-0023. 636-798-0023. They were pivotal in getting rid of the spiders in my house. They are reliable in making sure that it stays that way. That's why I signed up for the Premier Service Plan. I'm a happy customer of theirs. They come out quarterly. They treat my home, and I do not have to deal with spiders. I have not seen a spider since last fall when we initially called them out to begin with. If you call 636-798-0023 and you mention my name, Annie, you're going to get an extra 10% discount on the top of any other specials that they might be running. So do not forget to tell them when you call 636-798-0023 that you heard about them on the Annie Fry Show. Save a little extra there. They also take care of termites, mosquitoes, the whole lot. If you've got a pest problem, reach out to Point Pest Control online at pointpestcontrol.com.
Patriots like President Trump never stop fighting for their country. Because Trump knows America's on life support and says Dr. Bob Onder can help him save it. Trump's endorsed Dr. Bob Onder for Congress, calling him an incredible America First